Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Crash Content Podcast. Today, we are doing the first music cast, where some of us have chosen some music that we like, and we're going to recommend that you check it out. Each of us will have links to the music we talk about in the description. So if you want to see that, hear it, listen to it before we talk about it, after we talk about it, whatever, check the links in the description. Um, I am Alex, and I will be talking about some Japanese pop music, some non-anime Japanese pop music. We've also got Son of Marowak.
Yo, everyone. Gonna be listening to First Breath Kingdom Hearts First Orchestra Concert.
We got Ryan.
I'm also gay, so my music is also Japanese, sort of pop-ish, but it's like a shoegaze thing. It is Drop You Vivid Colors by Luminous Orange.
We've got Martin MP73.
Yeah, I just threw together a bunch of random songs that kind of were trying to encompass like the types of music I've listened to at different points in my life, and with maybe an idea to see externally if there's similarity, because I feel like there's maybe some similarity, but it's it's more out of like morbid curiosity and like, wait, are there similarities into these like sort of different things I've listened to over time? So it's kind of a few different genres, but yeah.
And also joining us is friggin' Eric.
Man, what even is music? Am I right?
Eric is joining us as an audience member who is not going to be bringing a recommendation today, if that wasn't clear.
Because I'm lazy.
Next time.
Next time.
Just coming from the guy who edits the videos, I don't think you should consider yourself lazy whatsoever.
All right, so Son of Marowak, you want to go ahead and kick us off? Red Pill on Kingdom Hearts Orchestra.
Well, I'll let you guys know. I am a huge connoisseur of Kingdom Hearts, but especially its music. This was an album that I actually didn't know existed until like a year ago, and I had already previously been to like 5 orchestra concerts of Kingdom Hearts before I heard about this, and this was the first album recorded at an by an orchestra, and it had a premiere season only in Japan, and it had like 3 or 4 shows, I think. So when I heard about this, I was like, oh my god, I just need to have this. And it's actually quickly become like my favorite of all the orchestra soundtracks. Let me bring it up real quick. I had it up, and now I'm going to bring it back. All right. So for those of you who, I guess it's not really necessary. I'm not going to explain Kingdom Hearts to you. If you don't know what Kingdom Hearts is by now, then look up Wikipedia or something. But yeah, I'm just going to like kind of go through all 14 songs. Some of them I'm going to talk more about than others, but others are just like I can just talk about them, like say one thing, and that's basically what it is. But before I get started, I'll just say that I was figuring when I put this as a suggestion and then listened to everyone else's, I was afraid that you guys people were gonna think like, oh my god, this is like just orchestra music, and I know it's not like the most popular, but like unless you listen to like video game music, like you'll probably like your own video game music, so that's understandable. But otherwise, it's just orchestra music. There's no vocals, like lyrics.
Also anime, which is fucking gay.
Well, it's not technically anime yet, but it is very.
But it's instrumental music, so it's intellectual. Ooh.
Yes. And Yoko Shinomura, the composer, is like probably is one of the best orchestrate conductor, whatever you call them, music makers of today. So just so you know what you're getting into, there are no lyrics. It's all instrumental. There may be some like choir in the background, but it's like for some music and not others. All right, so I'm gonna apologize in advance for if I mispronounce any of these titles. And when I say any of these titles, I mean this one, because I have no idea how to pronounce it. It's called Distanti. This is basically like one of the very first songs you'll ever listen to if you're playing a Kingdom Hearts game. It's basically just the force of darkness, like as if darkness was an
Is that
animal.
what plays when? Is that like the da da? Is that what plays when you're like you're like fighting like the shadow dude at the beginning or whatever? Like there's like
Yes.
like when
Yes.
you're picking like your shit, you're like it's like the quote unquote like tutorial of the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it is like aside from Simple and Clean, it is like the first song you'll hear in the entire series.
Gotcha.
And basically what you should feel when listening to the song is just like you're fighting an evil presence. And it's darkness, like it's literally darkness incarnate. Like this is like darkness's theme. Like there are characters in the game that are like players for darkness and even darkness personified, but like darkness is like its own force, just like light. It's like they're just forces that clash, and this would be like darkness's theme song. And what you kind of get when you listen to this song is not only like the power of darkness and having to fight against it, it's also a very like controlled darkness. It's not just wild like some other darkness themes can be, especially from Birth by Sleep. There's one.
Hey, you there?
You're cutting out.
I think we lost you, buddy.
Oh no.
Darkness that's controlled or channeled, but this one is very channeled.
Darkness.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Did something happen to me?
You cut out for a second.
You went silent for about 10 seconds. Yeah. Go ahead
and
re-say what you said and pick it back up.
Something about darkness.
All I was saying was that this song is as if darkness was channeled through a superior force instead of wild and rambunctious as other themes may be from the same series but from different games. And then Dearly Beloved, the second song. This is the title card song. Everyone knows the song. If you've even turned on Kingdom Hearts, if you haven't even played it, you know the song. It's very serene and it's very quiet, and every game has its own version of it. Each one is... Most of them are different. Others, like they have different instrumentations and different... I don't know. They might start out differently. Like the second game starts out with like a wave from a beach, and then just builds and builds as it gets to the main hook of the song. But Dearly Beloved is a very beautiful, serene song. It kind of represents a lot of things, and it definitely depends on the game. Like I said, each game features a different version of the song. And for example, Birth by Sleep features a very sad, somber version of Dearly Beloved. But the one that is on this playlist is actually a combination of two Dearly Beloveds, and that would be the second game's version, which has that slow build-up that I was talking about. It has a very adventurous and like trying to get to a better place kind of feel. Like it's coming and you're working to get there. And then the second part is very much more fun.
I think we lost you again.
Oh no.
It was a very cool surprise for me. Oh no. What happens? Is it
We lost your audio again.
Like
about 10 seconds. Like... Yeah, 5 or 10 seconds. Rewind.
This is... I don't know what's going on.
It's fine. It's not a big problem.
No, it's not. Just keep going.
Okay. All right. I'll try and keep it more brief then, just to get through it. Yeah, Dearly Beloved. 2 versions of the same song are played on this soundtrack. One is very serene, and the other is very fun and engaging. And then Traverse Town, the third song, just the generic. I mean, it's not generic exactly. It's just a redone of the regular Traverse Town theme, which is one of the worlds in the game. It's just a place where people have lost their homes go to when their homes are gone. It's a very it's an interesting song actually. It first plays out like it does in the game, where you're like in a new place, you don't know where you are. It starts slow and mysterious a little, and then as you go through the world, the song gets more upbeat, and it's like, oh, this is like a place. There's things to do. There's people to see. What?
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 Oh
What?
no!
I heard someone say, "Dude."
No, I think your mic echoed back at you because something's been going on weird with Alex's thing where it's like echoing parts back. I had a question though. So is this like this is all just Kingdom Hearts 1 music, right? Or am I
No,
okay?
no. There. Like I said in Dearly Beloved, it was a combination of the second game and Dream of Drop Distance's theme.
Right. But like so it's aside from like that sort of like thing where like they sort of like blend the themes together, like
I didn't hear. I just said you cut up in big.
oh boy, is this gonna be a fucking nightmare?
I'm not.
How about now? Can you hear me?
I'm not hearing anyone. I
Can
can
I
hear
think
you now.
Marowak, they can't hear us. I guess I can hear you through all of that, Ryan.
Okay.
I can hear all of you. I don't know what's happening.
So
I can hear you right now.
okay, so the music, like I know you said like they use like elements of different versions of Dearly Beloved.
You're cutting out again.
Does all of the music like source from Kingdom
What is
Hearts?
going on?
I don't know.
We can hear Ryan fine, so I think it's just
Yeah.
you, dude.
Is your internet bad?
Is it me? Oh, you know what? Let me disconnect from the internet and use the. Yeah, it might be my internet. Let me disconnect from that. All right, now I'm just on my wireless or Wi-Fi, whatever. Maybe that'll be
Sick.
better. All right, try again. Maybe I'll hear you better.
So I could be wrong about this, but it seemed like, or at least like the first few songs were all from Kingdom Hearts 1, aside from the fact that I know you said with Dearly Beloved they like mix some like the Dream Drop Distance stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't I didn't recognize like the last few songs. I have played through all of Kingdom Hearts 1, but I don't know. I because I assumed that they were all from Kingdom Hearts 1. Am I correct on that generally, or
I would agree with you that maybe definitely the first half, like the first five or yeah, but the first 5 songs are songs that you can hear in the first game. That is true. But then after that, it just kind of meanders into different games.
all right?
Here
I
and
didn't
there.
know if like
I think it was because Kingdom Hearts is the first game. What?
I didn't know if they like did if each concert was like dedicated to one game, or how that
No.
works.
No, like each concert up until the latest concert, the World of Trace concert, that one had a focus on Kingdom Hearts 3 on the later half. But each concert has been meandering into different games, and to try and tell a different story with their concerts. So it would vary, but some songs that were reoccurring, but like in different concerts. But most songs were chosen for a specific purpose, whether it be fan favorites or to create a medley of different themes and put it into one song.
Cool.
For the sake of this concert, though, yes, the first 5 songs are all from Kingdom Hearts 1, and every other one, it kind of goes in an order. Like after 1, you'll hear a song from Kingdom Hearts 2, and then that's also for Kingdom Hearts 2, and then I'll go into more different. Yeah, I'll get to them, but yeah, to answer your question, the first 5 are definitely from the first game. And then after that, it goes all over the place.
Gotcha.
So, like I said, Traverse Town, just a song featuring the town of that is in the game, the first game. I already talked about it. I think that's all I need to say about that. Hand in Hand is kind of like the most triumphant of all the songs. It plays at the end of the first game when everything is said and done. It's like the last thing you hear. Hang on, let me... Fucking phone. Shut up.
Hello.
Fucking
Or
god damn it!
Oh, it's a great time for one of these.
Oh my god! All right, I'm going into another room to talk about it. Hand in hand, like I said, Triumph that plays at the end of the first game. It's really pretty self-explanatory. It's a very good song. It plays in some boss fights in some games. That's pretty much it. It's really good. Journey of Kingdom Hearts, the fifth song, is a medley of all of the overworld themes from all the worlds from the first game. So it starts out in Destiny Islands all the way until Hollow Bastion. Really not much else to say. They're just all the different overworld themes you'll listen to when you're just running around and there's no enemies around. It's very relaxing, and each song is different. It goes from Destiny Island, which is just like a happy-go-lucky beach kind of sounding song, and eventually you get to like Olympus Coliseum, where it's like blah blah blah. It changes
The
every
remix a little bit there.
under every minute. Yeah, something like that. Lazy Afternoons, number 6, is a song dedicated to the second game. It's introduced in the second game. It is just the overworld theme of the world Twilight Town, and it is a song of very, very somber, but not like sad. It's just like a relaxing day off. The sun is setting. It was a great day kind of feel, and like you get that from the world, which is literally called Twilight Town. So it's like a really, really fitting theme for a specific world. Probably one of the best themes in the game for that purpose. The Other Promise, which is an absolute fan favorite. You can ask anyone who's played Kingdom Hearts, and they'll know exactly what The Other Promise is. There are of this on different CDs. I think all but one of the orchestra concert CDs have it. It's on every single of Yoko Shimomura's other CDs, like of her collection kind of thing. If she just has like a collection of songs that are from different games, like The Other Promise is almost guaranteed to be here. This song is really emotional. If you don't know the context, I highly recommend you look up the context, but if not, it's still a very, very somber and angry sort of song. It starts out with a lot of pain and a lot of agony. Everything's been taken away. Whether literally taken away or everything everything you thought you had is taken away. It's just, you're a shell of a person. You don't know what to do with your life, and and then you get to a point where you're so angry at the world. The song goes from somber, quiet, sad to angry and pissed off as hell. And it's very slow. It's a 5-minute song, and it just takes its time getting to that point where it's just anger and absolute frustration with the world. It's very, very potent. It's not the right word, but very strong in its emotional grab. Another side, number 8, like sort of another darkness.
Can you say that again?
Themed song.
No, it's
this
fine.
plays at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 during a secret boss fight. And this where I commented that another side is another song that is representative of darkness. And unlike the first song, Destadi, where that was like a controlled feral animal, this one is like the mastermind behind that animal. It's like the dog trainer. This song is about testing one's ability by a mysterious figure who you cannot comprehend. He has abilities that you've never seen before, and it's very similar to the official soundtrack of the. This is like one of the most standout sounding songs of the entire game. It's almost as if this game was made for the second game, which this song comes back in as like in
You guys,
big cutscenes. It starts out very slow, and then it goes to like this really fast, upbeat beat that
you guys
you're just
remember
like
when
going
Goofy
through the
fucking
motions, and
died?
it's really wild.
Spoilers,
that.
dude.
Big spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
I didn't know
played Kingdom
Goofy was
Hearts.
dead.
I didn't know Goofy
Yeah,
died, but apparently,
But he
fuck,
was in the
dude.
trailer for the third game.
maybe it's his clone. I don't know.
Knowing this series, who knows?
Wait, so why is Goofy not in like the art for that album? That's the real question.
I guess none of the Disney
well,
characters are.
Well, these are just the soundtrack covers for
They
the
probably don't
concert.
have-
There
I
are
wonder if
there
that
are
works.
promotional material for the concerts that you might be able to find some Disney characters in, but I don't know. They're just not very prominent. There's Goofy.
Well, maybe he's not in the art because he's fucking dead. Did you ever hear that?
No, Goofy.
Anyway.
So number 9, gearing up, just Shipmaster's whatever. I can't read the rest of it. It's Shipmaster's Shenanigans? Shanty. This is the Blast Off. Okay, that's the full name.
Gummy.
This is just the gummy ship theme for the second game when you're like in the garage and you're getting ready to blast off. It's people don't really pay too much attention to the gummy themes, but this one stands out. It's pretty cute. It's got like a Disney vibe to it. One of the few songs on this playlist on this soundtrack that just sounds very Disney-esque and very fun, not very dark or somber sounding. So it's a nice change of pace. And then Destiny's Union is a song from Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep is a game about characters who are best friends and they drift apart and they're obsessing over each other. And Destiny's Union is kind of that feeling where you're just missing people. Like you just want to be able to get back to them as soon as possible, but you know you're all out doing your own thing. Pretty somber the whole way through. Doesn't really build up to anything. Not saying it's bad, but it's just like if you just want that 3-minute continuous missing that person. If you're like in a really sad, depressed mood, this might be a song to listen to. If you want to feel even more sad, I don't know what you want to do when you feel emotions.
It reminded me of like Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix when like Harry kisses Cho Chang, the song plays and it like the background piano do I can't actually do it, whatever. But it reminded me of I was like fucking for not the right note, but nothing right at all about trying to hum that. But it somehow is like incredibly similar, not like the rest of the song, but like the initial start background piano sort of pacing. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but like I don't know why that it like was almost a deja vu moment because it's like, oh, this is really similar to this other song. And it was just a sort of it like brought out a memory of, for some reason, that scene because I had that DVD when I was like fucking, I don't know how old, maybe middle school, maybe younger, I don't remember.
Order of the Phoenix definitely has a really expansive soundtrack. I think it probably has one of the best soundtracks of the series. So I can understand how it would stand out to you.
Specifically, that song just was really similar to that one song. That was the thing.
Mm-hmm. After Destiny's Union, number 11 is The Union, or The Unknown. Sorry, reading backwards. The Unknown was the standout of this official soundtrack for me. This is my favorite of the soundtrack. It is a 3-part song featuring the secret boss themes from 1, 2, and Birth by Sleep. The first one is the boss fight. I won't tell you who's who. That'd be stupid. You probably already, people listening probably already know who's who anyway. But the first part is actually kind of a replay of Another Side, except this is like a boss themey kind of sound, where the Another Side was more somber and not really building to much. This one is like a boss theme. You can listen to this while working out or fighting a boss, whatever. It is a boss theme. It has the fast paced music. After that part, it plays Rage Awakened, which is the secret boss theme from Kingdom Hearts 2. As the name suggests, Rage Awakened is a absolute banger and like features a character who is absolutely fucking insanely pissed off. The song does not let up. It starts out kind of slow, like you're kind of like building up that mana of anger, like if because it start out like just like a normal person, but then it builds and builds and builds until there's like all these different instruments blasting at you and all different kinds of repetitions, and it is absolutely insane and absolutely pays homage to the fight it premieres in, because in that fight it is absolutely fucking insane. And then after that features my absolute favorite song of the entire series, which I don't remember at the I don't remember the title.
Lol, fake fan.
I am a fake fan.
Name 5 of their song.
Oh, don't make me do it.
List.
Are you just like basing this off memory? All these titles?
Oh yeah, because I list. No, I'm looking at the titles as I go. But since this song in particular features 3 different songs, obviously they're not included. I don't know. I'm just like thinking of other things. That's why I can't think of it, and that's my excuse. I swear. Hang on, I can actually get it right now. It is. Oh, it'd be in the 3rd album right here. What the fuck is it? Oh, Dark Impetus. That's what it's called. Dark Impetus.
Metamorphosis.
This song is also a very rage-induced sort of song. Except it's not so much angry. It's more like... actually, I'm wrong. It's not at all. It has nothing to do with rage. It's a song about a stranger testing your abilities. But whereas the first part of the song was more like being an amateur and being tested by a superior, the Dark Impetus is more of you're also a professional being tested by someone who's even stronger than you, and it does not let up. And there's this part. The version in this song doesn't feature violins in the part that I'm about to reference, but when it's played by the violins, it's fucking beautiful. But there's this part where it goes and it goes on like 8 times, and it's fucking beautiful because in the fight itself, you can fight clones of the boss, and it just has that feel like you're just being fought by like all the different sides of yourself, of all 8 of your sides, whatever, and all at the same time, and it's fucking chaotic. I love this song. It's just fucking beautiful. It's fucking amazing. And then this one is going to be hard to pronounce. Number 12, Miss pour la Traitesse de Chien. I know I butchered that title, but whatever. This is kind of basically the main theme of a character named Shion. She's a very tragic figure. I'm not going to go into detail about why she's tragic. If you want to look it up yourself to feel
She get goofied.
Oh, no.
Well, you know what? Maybe.
Was Goofy her dad? That would be pretty tragic.
More like her uncle.
I love how you like played Kingdom Hearts and had this rich experience with it and with the soundtrack, and I haven't played it, and to me it's just like lol, Goofy dies.
That.
I mean, Kingdom Hearts is a conversation that we could have, and it's just like it would take too long to explain why people like it. It's a pretty fucked up series, but it's the music is a reason why I love the series so much, because the music is such a good representation on the feelings you feel when playing some of the series.
I don't give a fuck about the story in Kingdom Hearts. Like not like I'm not saying like fuck you. I'm saying like I don't like play it for that.
No, I get you. Like, I mean, I do too, to a point, but I'm fully aware that it's just stupid. Like I'm not.
Did
I don't
people
take
wear
it too
those like
seriously.
black jackets all the way down in middle school? I feel like there were things like that. Maybe not that exact thing, but I feel like people wore something similar to this in middle school, like the goth
They
kids.
definitely did.
I know I did. I'm kidding. I did.
But anyway, yeah. So Shion theme. It's just like her theme. She does have another theme that does have very similar instrumentation and rhythms and whatnot and other
Can you
musical
type it
terms.
out so I can just see this in my head?
Here's a better
Shion.
look at the character.
Wait, you want the title of the song or Shion's?
Oh,
Okay.
there we go. I needed to see that. Like that.
How to spell it?
Yeah. Well, because I'm like thinking Shion or
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Shion or.
Anyway, yeah. So
Or
her
Shion
theme,
or
it's very sad and whatnot.
Shion.
After that, The Power of Darkness, number 13, is another medley. One of the much more enjoyable medleys because it's just all battle themes, and each one plays really well. The fun thing about this medley in particular is that they choose battle themes, sort of exclusive to like more serious boss fights. Not necessarily like some Disney bosses. They all share like one boss theme, and it's a lot less serious. But each song in The Power of Darkness here, you will hear them multiple times, depending on the boss. You can fight two different bosses, and the same theme will play. But they're all for like very like movie story driven boss fights, and each one in this medley is from a different game, just like actually no, not like anything, because that never mind. But this one it plays a song from the first game, and then two from the second game, and then one from Birth by Sleep, one from Dream Drop Distance. And I think that's it. I'm not going to go into too much detail because really they are just boss fights, and there's really not much to say about it. So enjoy the awesome, hectic sounding, adrenaline-filled awesomeness that is the song. And then March Caprice for piano and orchestra is just the finale. It plays at the end, I think, of the second game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like the final farewell of the second game. I might be wrong. It might be the first game. One of the first or second game. It's just one song. It's just like a march theme, kind of like graduation march, sort of thing. It goes from like quiet, and then it just builds, and it's like you got the drums, going like dun 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 whatever, something like that. It's a great finisher, of course. It's like the last thing you hear in the game, so it's the last song you hear on the orchestra concert. And that is it. That is all 14 of the soundtrack Kingdom Hearts Concert First Breath album.
Sweet. So I listened to I didn't finish it, but I listened to a good amount of this one day. And I guess I'll just drop my 2 cents as someone who, like I said, I haven't played Kingdom Hearts. I didn't I didn't have a connection to a lot of this music, but I like having this on my radar, having the Kingdom Hearts orchestra soundtracks that I know they exist. Because I listened to it when I was trying to like relax and kind of, get ready for bed kind of state of mind, and having like orchestra music for that is good to take me out of the, hyper connected or energetic mindset. And I also, because I don't have a lot of music like that I, know of or have in my library. The one thing I did have was the parts where it takes from Disney songs. Like every now and then I'd recognize like, oh yeah, that I know that. And sometimes I might remember what it was. Sometimes it would just be familiar. But that was pretty much my experience listening to this. I think it's you're like, everything you just went through with your memories for each song and what they represent. That was really cool. That was more than I expected for what this represents. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, I guess I should have went into detail about Journey of Kingdom Hearts, the one you're talking about with all the Disney songs. That, like I said, they are songs from different worlds. And of course, if anyone who has never turned on a computer doesn't know, Kingdom Hearts features Disney characters, and Goofy dies and whatnot. And Journey of Kingdom Hearts does feature 2 tracks, totally ripped off from The Little Mermaid and Halloween Town. Yoko Shimomura just did like an orchestrated version of those themes and put them as the overworld themes. So you'll definitely recognize it. But if you're like a cute hardcore Disney fan, like this really isn't the soundtrack for you. If you just listen to 5 and people tell you like, oh, this track is for Aladdin and this track is for Tarzan, and you listen to it, you'll be like, oh, I can get behind that. This sounds like something I would like to hear when thinking about Tarzan or Little Mermaid. But other than that, this is like a hardcore, like you got to be into Kingdom Hearts to enjoy this like thoroughly.
Sweet. Anybody else have thoughts on Kingdom Hearts while we wrap it up?
Okay.
I listened to this one and I liked it. It was a very nice rendition of all of the songs from the video games, and it gave me an empowering feeling of like, yeah, this is good, and I like video games. I was listening to it while I was like, I the other day I had an epiphany. I was like, I wanted to do like a thing where, like similar to Martin's like anime list. I was like, I'm gonna make a ranking of every video game I have ever played. And so I did that. I didn't finish it quite yet, but I was doing that while listening to this, and I was like, yeah, video games. And it was good. I'm sorry, I'm cringe. Go on.
My experience was I've never ever played Kingdom Hearts, but like maybe 3 years ago I watched like an art streamer who liked Kingdom Hearts, and there was like song requests, and people would always request Kingdom Hearts, or if it wasn't like a song request stream, um like the music she would play had like Kingdom Hearts stuff mixed in with it. So even though I've never played the game, I like get nostalgia when I hear "Dearly Beloved" and some of the other songs I don't remember the names of, but I also recognize them. So like both the regular version of "Dearly Beloved" and like "Marching Caprice" at the end, those both like gave me goosebumps. And then I noted that I liked "Vector to the Heavens" too, and then "Destiny's Union." I liked all of those songs like a lot. The other ones I didn't take note of because I was listening it in the background. So some I'd be like listening to the whole thing, and then like when I was like, oh, this is really good, I would like check the timestamp and see what song it was, and those were the songs that stood out to me. But maybe more just because of recognition, because I was able to recognize a few of them, they stand out more just because I'd heard them before.
When I listened to it on YouTube, it was just one single long video, so I didn't really pay attention much to like one track versus another. Just kind of absorbed the whole thing all at once. It's like one really, really long song. I've also never played Kingdom Hearts, so I don't really have like a frame of reference, but I enjoyed it a lot, just kind of listening to the whole thing start to finish. Like you really felt like, oh yeah, we're going on a journey and fighting darkness and saving the day, and like that's really like sort of like the tone, and you can tell like it's hitting certain story beats even without me knowing nothing about the story or anything that happens or ever never heard any of these songs before. Like it still kind of conveyed that. So I think that kind of speaks to how well they were able to communicate sort of like the emotions through the songs. Except for the part where like just straight up Disney stuff starts playing. That's a little jarring. Like,
well, they're very brief.
Yeah, like if you had put this, like if you had told me to put this on and you didn't tell me what it was, and I just would have assumed it's just like some concert of like maybe from a game or a movie or soundtrack, and then just all of a sudden they start playing like The Little Mermaid or Halloween Town or something. I'd be like, whoa, where the hell did this come from? But
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like it just kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's only there for like a few minutes out of the whole thing. but like that's a bit of a sharp tonal shift. But I still, on the whole, thought it was a very fun listening to the whole thing. I enjoyed it a lot. And while I have never played Kingdom Hearts before, I just recently got my PS2 emulator up and running. So,
Kingdom Hearts 2 is definitely worth playing. And you really, I wouldn't say you need to play, like, I would say you should play the first game, but you don't necessarily have to enjoy Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, well, I found out I have the disc lying around just in a bucket. So,
The first one or the second one?
The first one.
The problem is if you play through the first one, like if you're only gonna play through one of them, just skip Kingdom Hearts 1 and play Kingdom Hearts 2. But one of the problems playing the first game to the second game is that within, like, okay, so the end of the first game feels better than the beginning of the first game, but once you get further in and have like more abilities in Kingdom Hearts 2, it feels like amazing. Like the combat is so smooth.
Oh, just so for like
Like
mechanics
bouncy.
and gameplay and okay,
Yeah, no, Kingdom Hearts 2 is definitely like a gamer.
an improvement. Yeah,
I wouldn't say improvement, but it's like in overall combat mechanics and stuff like that.
More
yeah,
refined,
it's a
I
huge
guess.
improvement. Refined, yes, but my point
Okay.
is Kingdom Hearts is like a much better told story in that sort of regard. Kingdom Hearts 1 is my favorite of all the Kingdom Hearts games. And it's mostly due to because it just tells the story really well. Before we move on, I just want to have a closing statement, basically. Not really a closing statement, but just one last thing to say. For anyone who wants to have some sort of like Kingdom Hearts orchestra experience, I don't know if you can, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or Dailymotion or somewhere. You can find a recording of the Kingdom Hearts 3 World of Trace concert, which was last year. If you have a copy of Kingdom Hearts 3, for example, you can actually go onto the store, like the PlayStation Store. I don't know if it's available on the Xbox, but on the PlayStation Store, you can actually buy a add-on for Kingdom Hearts 3 that has a recording of the entire concert for World of Trace. And in World of Trace, it just features a whole. It's like all medleys. It's like if you like songs, if you like songs that are just a combination of multiple songs, World of Trace is a great soundtrack for just that purpose. And what it does is like it'll go through each game, like the whole first half of World of Trace features songs from each game, and then the whole last half are all medleys for the third game. And what the whole point of the concert was to retell the whole story of Kingdom Hearts up until 3. So if you're a huge connoisseur of Kingdom Hearts, I think you'd really fucking love the World of Trace concert. And you can watch it live, not live. You can watch it recorded. And it features like you'll see video playbacks of the game, cut with the people actually playing the concert in the concert. So look that up, World of Trace concert, like recording or something. I don't know. I think anyone would really enjoy it, especially if you like medleys.
sick.
All
right, sweet.
Is it Martin?
You are. Take it away. Ryan, Drop You Vivid Colors.
All right, so the album that I chose is, as we stated before, Drop You Vivid Colors by Luminous Orange. So this album is a Japanese shoegaze album. If you don't, does anyone here know what shoegaze is, or like have ever listened to shoegaze?
No idea.
No.
I had only
Please
just started
explain.
to have heard of it recently. I did not know this was shoegaze when I listened to it, but I had been curious for like the last month since I'd heard of it, and now I guess I've listened to a shoegaze album, so that's cool. But tell us what it is.
Okay, so this album in particular isn't very representative of the genre as a whole. I had originally considered like doing an entire episode on shoegaze, but to do that, you would need to listen to like at the very least like 5 albums, and you still wouldn't have that much of a picture. So obviously I'm not going to force people to fucking do that. So instead, this is a shoegaze album, but this is a more specific breed of shoegaze, because Japan really likes shoegaze, but they tend to have a bit of a different approach. So this is what I'm going to call the subgenre. This this is my titling for this subgenre is bloomgaze. That doesn't exist, except like it doesn't exist in like other people's brains, but now it does because I just made it up. And from if you listen to shoegaze and you like know what I'm talking about, like that title should have like a sort of inherent, you should have like a sort of inherent understanding of what I'm talking, because there's a lot of shoegaze that's like poppy, but that's not necessarily like this is the sort of like warmer and more like thematically speaking, I guess more positive, because a lot of shoegaze can be sort of depressing, but this is definitely, I wouldn't say this is definitely like cool and it's good. Basically this album sounds how Starburst tastes. I don't know if that's necessarily accurate, but I like
Yes.
I like how that sounds.
Yes, that is it.
Okay,
Agreed.
cool. Yeah. So if you like Starbursts, maybe you might like this album. Yeah, so shoegaze, I guess I'll give like a brief like description of what shoegaze is, and then I can talk about how this relates to that genre. So shoegaze started in like the early 90s. The first ever like quote unquote like the genesis of shoegaze would be the album Loveless by My Bloody Valentine, and that was from 1991. So there are things that like sort of happened before that were leading to the genre of shoegaze. Essentially, the two genres that like basically how genres work in music, and I mean pretty much most mediums, is that sandpaper pillows. Yeah, that's I like that description. But basically like basically like anything else, it is a merging of two things that came before it, which are also mergings of other things that came before them. So like the two genres that like define shoegaze, or that essentially led to the existence of shoegaze, are dream pop, dream pop and noise rock. So those are probably two more genres that you guys probably don't have familiarity with, I assume, but both of them are pretty self-explanatory, I think. You know, like dream pop is very like, if you ever listen to like Beach House, that's dream pop. They're like newer, but the initial dream pop movement came from like the 80s with like primarily the band Cocteau Twins, and their record Heaven or Las Vegas. I think right. I think that's. I hope I'm not. Anyways, also yeah. And then there's noise rock, and that's things like Sonic Youth, Dinosaur Jr., et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, basically shoegaze at the core. The defining factors of shoegaze are like, it's kind of a meme because people say that like the description of shoegaze is like rock music with effects, which is like a meme because obviously that's like a lot of fucking music, but because shoegaze can be a very vague description. But generally like core like shoegaze is essentially very like ethereal waves of, you know, lots of like reverb, lots of distortion, like a sort of noisy, yeah, like a noisy dream. So that's primarily what shoegaze is, but this has like less distortion. Like typical shoegaze has a lot more like vocal effects, whereas this album the vocals are pretty clean. You can definitely hear what they're saying pretty well. But like in Loveless, for example, like I said, like the genesis of shoegaze, that album, like all the vocals are very like, they like blend in with each other. So sometimes it'll sound like there's like two different like, it might sound like two different lines of vocals that like blend within each other, that may create like a sound that when they are put together, like they're not necessarily saying one thing, even though they usually are. But it's really cool, like the way that they blend vocals, and it sounds like really bizarre. And that's part of what makes them like that album in particular. That's part of what makes that album so replayable, is that like you can listen to it forever. It'll take you like to this day. That album came out like almost 30 years ago at this point, 29 years ago. That album still, like, there is no like official lyric sheet. Like, people don't have like have a definitive answer of what they're saying in the album, which is fucking nuts. And that's part of what makes it so listenable again, is because like I'll listen to it over and over again, and then one day I'll listen to it and I'll just like get chills, because it's like I find like I finally like channeled what they were saying at that moment. And that's really cool. It gives it a lot of depth. But that's not, like I said, that's not necessarily present in every shoegaze album, because this could be considered shoegaze. But yeah, like you can sort of listen, like the guitar in this record, like it never sounds like it's quite fully there. Like it's always a little bit slightly distorted, slightly dreamy. You know, it's got like some reverb to it, but it makes it feel like yeah, like it makes it feel warm. Like it just has this sort of effect on you that maybe not so much with this album in particular, but there is like an effect. Yeah, there you go. That is shoegaze right there. That is, yeah. It has this sort of effect that like I can't quite describe. But this album in particular is fairly obscure. I mean, the genre of shoegaze itself, in the larger scheme of music, is definitely obscure. Like nobody here seemed to really know what it was. So but once you get into like, if you get into like quote unquote underground music, like My Bloody Valentine, Loveless, that album is generally considered as like, that'll show up in a lot of like top 10 best of albums of all time lists. So, you know, it's like once you're at like a certain point, it is like known by people, but this album in particular is even more obscure, again, because it's Japanese. So like, you know, it's just layers of obscurity. But like there's nothing particularly like this album isn't necessarily like a vital part of the shoegaze experience. I just thought it would be kind of a nice introductory to the genre. It's one that I've been listening to lately. And also, I know all of us here are weebs, so I figured I'd pick a Japanese album.
Some more than others.
Strong theme for Music Cast number 1.
I mean, I didn't notice there was Japanese until like the second song. Like, I was like, oh
yeah, not all the
I'll do you one better than that. I listened to this twice, and I did not know it was Japanese until 30 minutes ago. I listened to it
neither.
Oh, it has like this washed out sound where you can't really hear what they're saying, and I like tried to hear it for a second, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna vibe with it, and like I assumed it was English, and I couldn't understand it.
Words.
So there you go.
So, but then after the second song, I tried again, and I was like, okay, now there's just, this is English words, but English words mixed together and not really, yeah. So like, so I just noticed enough to wait. Oh, that was Japanese. Wait, is this Japanese? And then by the third song, I don't even actually think there was any. I think it was all English in like the next 4 or 5 songs. I don't, or if there was,
how could you tell? Man,
because after I heard it,
I don't even know.
After I heard it, I was like trying to hear it in the next couple of songs, and it did, maybe like a 7th or 8th song or something. I heard it again, so I think there was just a lot of songs. It was just anything said was English, as far as I can tell, or it was just very mixed in.
Was it literally
I could
just
not tell what they were saying at all?
Well, I mean, I couldn't get a consistent like sentence or like a paragraph. Like I could see, but I could hear like well, maybe I could hear a sentence, but like I couldn't make sense of like what was being said in the sense of like a story. Like I was like, yeah, okay, these are just words that are mixed together and phrases, and whether it was English or like whatever, like even I just couldn't. Like it was like what Ryan was saying about how they mixed it in like different voices at the same time. I was like, okay, like I definitely noticed that. But
to be fair, I couldn't tell what they were saying in the English tracks either. So
oh no, yeah, I couldn't. This is one of those things where it's like reminded me of like maybe if you're used to like Attack on Titan sound. This is anime, but like there's a they add like they have quote unquote German, but it's like by Japanese people that can't speak German. So it's like I had to explain to somebody that was like maybe she was like had heard some German before. I'm like, no, they're not speaking Japanese. That's actually German. It's just really bad German that no German person would understand because that person's Japanese.
Yeah.
And she's like, are you sure it's not Japanese? I'm like, nope, not Japanese. It's just really bad, mumbly German by a Japanese person that doesn't speak German trying to. That's the kind of, I guess, the thought of the English was to me. Yeah.
I thought the band that did Attack on Titan did have German members.
It might, but the lyrics I've heard from any comments on any of those songs are like by German people. It's like, oh yeah, it is German, but I can't tell what they're saying. That was like that's the general consensus I've seen just looking at comments about
That's
those.
funny.
Yeah.
So I actually have to run to the bathroom really quickly. But feel free to, I don't know, I'll be right back.
Okay, so while he's doing that, I will attempt to answer my own question, which is, why is it called shoegaze? Let's see if there's a Wikipedia.
I mean, if you want to figure, I
go
can
to the
tell you
bathroom.
that.
No,
Okay.
you can tell me when you get back, and we'll see if I was
Okay.
right. This is an excuse for you to leave. The term shoegazing was coined by the British music press to describe the stage presence of a wave of neo-psychedelic groups. That sounds epic, dude. Neo-psychedelic. Who stood still during live performances in a detached, introspective, non-confrontational state with their heads down. This was because the heavy use of effects pedals meant the performers were often looking down at their readouts. That sounds shoe related. So they're like looking down at their shoes for the effects pedals.
Ooh.
Man, how long does it take to pee? He's not back yet. What the fuck?
That sounds cool. That's like a cool story, just to like, oh, we have to focus on what we're doing.
Many pedals.
We have to focus on what we're doing, so we're just like staring at the pedals on the ground. So we're just
Literally,
but it also like has an
gazing at our
aesthetic in
shoes.
itself. Like it has like an accidental aesthetic sound, like impression shoegazing because it's gazing.
Yeah, it's like void gazing, but you're like
Yeah.
at Foot Locker, just
Void
gazing at
gazing.
the shoes.
Yeah.
This, I like this. I like what this is called. I like that it sounds like starbursts. I like that
Yes,
it's
the
weird and
starburst is
esoteric.
dead on. I couldn't quite wrap my head around. Like at first, I'm just like, you know, like the band's what was it? Luminous Orange, and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting an orange vibe out of this album.
Yeah, man, orange starburst, pink starburst.
For me, it's very grindy and grating, but like I can get the pleasantness behind that. So that's why I used like the sandpaper pillow metaphor. This I wouldn't feel like sour from this. I feel more grating into fluffy pleasant, not like sour into sweet, but like grating into pleasant, sort of.
The first time I listened to this, I was driving. I was doing like a 2-hour drive to go visit people somewhere else, and I love this album for driving, like on a sunny day or whatever. It's like you just vibe with the trip, you know. It's a very, very vibe heavy album.
Yes, the vibes. That's exactly kind of what I was getting at. Like just like blue skies and sunny days and
Pink sky.
like, oh yeah, just kind of chilling out.
Okay, Sensei's back. Let me tell you what I found on Wikipedia, and you can tell me if this is it.
Sure.
It's called shoegaze because of their heavy use of effects pedals, where they were looking down at the effects pedals a lot.
That is, yeah. So there are two reasons that it's called shoegaze. That is like the first half. The other half is mostly just that like the people, like when this music was being made, a lot of the people were like emo and shit. So they would be looking down even if they weren't like playing with the effects pedals. But yeah, like
it mentioned that too. It says they would stand still and look down before it even mentioned the effects pedals. Introspective, detached.
Mm.
It
So
mentions
like
the phrase
Slash.
neo-psychedelic as well, which is
Yes.
sick.
Yes. Very sick, yes. So it seems like you guys all had a positive impression of this, which I'm happy with.
Yeah, it was dope.
I definitely had the worst opinion, and I do mean worst opinion.
Oh, let's hear it.
I listened. Okay, I just want to point out also, by the way, to everyone, I've listened to everyone's playlist at least twice. But Arcade Nova, Ryan, yours to me was the hardest to listen to the first time. I was literally contemplating, I think I just want to listen to this once. I really don't want to listen to this a second time. Because my initial thought was, this is like the noisiest nonsense I've ever heard. And
Oh god, if you want
it's
noise,
literally
noise.
it's literally like the epitome of music I do not listen to and I don't give two shits about. I listen to it while walking my dog, and I listen to it just sitting around and doing stuff. But better opinion coming. One time my friend came over, and I asked her, "Do you want to just listen to this a second time? Because I need a reason to justify listening to it a second time. So if you were here to listen to it with me, I think that'd be more fun. Maybe you can give me some ideas on what you thought." She didn't really give me too many of her opinions, but halfway listening through the album, I did get this sense of comfiness. I started to frame an opinion around just being able to sit around and listen to this mellow music without having to think about it. Because this music, I really don't think it's meant to be thought too hard. It's really just meant to be listened to. And which is a style of music I don't traditionally listen to too much. I really like music that makes me think, or at least makes me feel a certain way, and this really doesn't do that. But when I'm just sitting around and doing nothing and just like, I don't know, if I'm like having a conversation, this was good music to like have in the background if I'm like having a conversation, like just a mellow conversation. So I didn't like it the first time. But the second time I did grow a little bit into it. But it's definitely, none of it was any kind of music I would download for myself.
I'm gonna.
Fair enough.
I had a similar take, but I kind of engaged with it as trying to find out like what the appeal was, and I will say like when I said like sandpaper, like. That's there for a reason. It's like very grindy, abrasive. This is
Okay.
It reminded me of like the FLCL track, which I hated FLCL because I hated the music. It was one of the reasons I didn't like it. That's kind of, I don't know if that's anything similar in a genre or not. I just remember
Not
it gave.
particularly, but I mean, kind of. I really like the soundtrack. So
So
yeah,
the grinding. I don't know how to explain it, but the grindiness was
yeah, I know what you mean.
abrasive. Now after listening to a while, I can get into the pleasant mode and feel that. The problem is the type of music I tend to like just overwhelming music that's just like or like, because like if I'm listening to music, I want to feel like a lot, not just like be in a floaty headspace. That's sort of most like whatever the emotion the music invokes in me.
You want to be
I
like
prefer
fully embraced.
not full, just like it's like you need to like turn the volume all the way up, or like the
So
high bandwidth,
like passive.
high bandwidth emotion, as opposed to
Okay.
like what people describe as chill music, or like that, or like lo-fi, any of that. I just never really preferred or engaged with much. I like just overwhelming, like and like not necessarily noise, but the emotion. It could be like really, really sad, or like really, really energetic,
So you
or
have
like
autism. Is what I'm hearing.
well, it's like being like, I just want the volume all the way up of the emotion, not of the
Right.
music. You know, like
Gotcha.
it's hard to explain that.
I mean, we can contrast this with your playlist when we get to it, but it's very like, you like high energy, yeah, in your face kind of stuff.
But not
yeah.
necessarily energy, because it could just be like really sad too. I just like, I guess the way I would describe it is just, I guess I already did. Just like the pipe needs to be really wide diameter of like what it's making me feel.
I find it interesting that you guys think it's like really noisy and abrasive, because I try to pick like something that wasn't that, because I mean, it is inherently it is that, because like I understand that why you would think that way, but to me this is like so like smooth and calm. Whereas, like,
I've
I
had more
definitely
of a
thought it was
smooth,
calm.
calm feeling
Okay,
than
yeah,
the other people apparently did. I didn't think it was that rough.
there are things that I could show you that would make you want to like cut your ears off if you think
Dude,
this is like
music
noisy.
cast too. You do harsh
Yeah.
noise, and I'll do speedcore, and we'll just like murder.
Yeah,
this
I'm
place.
to hear like Kyrie said he had stuff like that. I mean, I'll listen to that stuff, and I have a feeling that I might. I'm just guessing. I can't know until I listen to it. That I actually might be able to engage something with just like pure abrasive, because then it's just abrasive. But when you like mix abrasive
listened to, like,
into
Death
pleasant,
Grips or
somehow
anything?
the contrast. I don't know. I'm just not sure. But overall, it's just like, even like once I got into the vibe with it, it's not like a headspace. I just want to like that's. I like to be like, if I'm listening to music, woo.
Okay.
Or like,
I
no,
get
it's
it.
just like, yeah, that's the. Yeah,
I
sorry.
think the only other thing I can say about this, out of everyone's playlists or album that they recommended, this one, not the reason why it was so hard to listen to was, at least to me, that every single song sounded the same. I really couldn't tell what the difference was between each one, and yeah, you could, account that because it's, it's the same artist. It's like it's the person's album. Of course, they're gonna have a similar sound to it, but I just couldn't. If you asked me to pick one over the other, I really couldn't, because they were all just so similar sounding, and
I mean,
it did get to a point where it was just kind of boring.
They are made to be that way. They're meant to fit. Oh God, hold on.
So I can say, while this is happening, I do agree with that. It felt like one long song to me. I could not distinguish between two songs on this album. Maybe a little bit. There was one near the end with, I think, Wheel in the title. Rusty Wheel might have been the last one, and it had some kind
that was
of.
probably my favorite one.
I think it was the most distinctive, if I am thinking of the right one. So that, but I agree with you that this album mostly felt like one long song, or they were all similar.
Like, my notes for the song were Mother Pearl, okay. Part in Rusty Reel was cool. That was like my notes.
Good part.
Yeah, honestly, the worst part about listening to this song, and it has nothing to do with this album, was I did start with someone else's playlist, and I was like really adamant about taking notes, and then the second person was Arcade Nova, and I was like, I can't take notes on this. I really can't. It was so hard. The one thing I tried to do for everyone's playlist was give rate each song a number out of 10, and just based on like a 0 being I hated it and a 10 being I absolutely loved it and totally download it onto my iPod. For Arcade Nova's playlist, I couldn't give anything over a 5, because I was just like, I really just couldn't get into it.
Well, that is okay. But anyway, does anyone have anything else to say about this one?
Yeah, I think the reason I kind of liked it more than some of the other guys here is just that I tend to approach music more as like setting a mood, kind of just like have it playing in the background. What, like, this would be something great to put on, say, like at a party or something, versus like, I don't think it's meant that you just sit down and like just sit down and put in the headphones and just really focus on it.
Well,
as much as well you can, but I think it's more about like setting a mood, kind of.
I am definitely that kind of music listener where I don't necessarily want music to have in the background. I just want to. If I listen to music, it's because I want to listen to music, not because I want to fill up empty space. I have brain for that.
Same.
But
Sorry.
yeah. Anyway, never mind. I have nothing else to say. I don't know why I pretended to meander.
Well, if that's all that has to be said about this, I do have one final note. For anyone here or for the listeners, I have some recommendations based lol, whether if you like this album, I have a couple things that you might also enjoy. So the first thing is sort of obvious, but that's the you should, if you like this album, you should check out the rest of this band's discography. It's a lot more of the same kind of feeling, and it's all great.
Oh,
What did you?
no, you continue. I was just gonna say one more thing, but
Okay.
finish your thing.
Well, if it's quick, you can. If it's quick, you can say it. Unless.
Well, all I was gonna say was I did look this band up on Wikipedia, and I was with my friend at the time who's a big fan of Panic at the Disco. And for those of you who don't know, Panic at the Disco used to be like an actual band with members in it, but now is only like one person. And apparently, this band is currently one person. So I kind of made the remark that this band is kind of like the Panic at the Disco of Japan.
All right, cool.
But only in that regard, obviously, because they don't play similar music.
Yeah. So yeah, the rest of their discography is also great. I would recommend Sakura Swirl is one of the good ones. I mean, they're all, like I said, they're all great. They have like 4 albums and I think like a mini album or something. So yeah, so pretty cool stuff there. And then also these are more like shoegaze, like shoegaze core albums, if you will. The first being Split by Lush, and again, I'll probably put these all in the description or something somewhere. But this is sort of more quote unquote bloomgaze, very like, it's got sort of like lyrically, it's very like pretty punk, but it's got like that very like sort of dreamy shoegaze kind of thing. A lot more like guitar, so it's a lot more abrasive. But not necessarily noisier. Like it's not noisier in the sense that it's like quote unquote grindy, I guess. Like it's not as like high pitch frequency noise, but there's a lot more like rapid like jamming guitar playing. But anyway, so yeah, that's another that's like an essential listen in the genre in my opinion. And then the next one, if you really like the like sort of dreamy, sort of noisy aspect of this.
Oh no, he's gone.
Un momento, por favor.
Anybody know any good jokes? Did you guys see my shoegaze meme? It's laser eyes funny meme. Oh god, it's not taking up enough time. Oh fuck.
Real quick, what's everyone's favorite flavors of Starburst? Since that came up earlier.
Pink.
Pink, yeah, pink. That's.
Dude, I literally don't know. I have no idea. That's just, I guess, when you don't know what your favorite Starburst flavor is, it's a total.
Welcome to the real world.
Moment. I did that earlier, and it wasn't. I said, "Ooh, it's a great time for one of these," and then I tried to play it, and I had my desktop audio muted. So
yeah, I remember you saying that, and then not hearing anything.
Here's the
truth.
How many goofies
just don't always go right.
Welcome to the real world.
Okay. And
He's
now
back
to our regular whatever. So now, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So the next album would be Sweet Trip is the band, and then their album is Velocity, Design, Comfort. And I'll send you what this album looks like, and you'll instantly know what it sounds like. Give me one sec here. Okay, here we go. So this is yeah.
This was in your 3x3. I remember this.
Yeah, it was in my red content. So yeah, this is it's shoegazy, but it's sort of got like some glitch hop sort of fused into it. It's very like electronic sort of shoegaze album. Essential listen in my opinion if you want to get into the genre. But yeah, and then I just have 2 more recommendations. The first would be if you're really into the Japanese side of this and you're like, ooh, Japanese shoegaze, give me more of that, then I have 2 bands for you. Neither of these are like super shoegaze heavy, but they are like, again, more on like the sort of pop rock side of shoegaze. Candy references are the best way that you can describe shoegaze. Oh fuck. So yeah, those bands being Massive the Fermenting Dregs, which is one of the more popular sort of bands out of this niche, I guess, and Coulter of the Deepers. I recommend their albums Yukari Telepath and No Thank You. Both of these albums are not necessarily shoegaze. They're a bit different from what like you might be expecting if you were just chaining them off of this, but they have elements of shoegaze, but they're a lot more like hardcore, like grindcore. So like lots of screaming and like heavy guitars. So yeah, if you know that wasn't your thing, then you probably won't like these. But they also have like there's this one song in No Thank You where it's like, and then they like they flip the switch and then everything is like cloudy candy. So there's like, yeah, it's cool. But yeah, that's that. Check them out. All right, who's next?
Sounds pretty sweet. All right, Martin, you're up with whatever you would say your playlist is. The MP7-3 core.
Yeah, just like songs that are like, I like these songs, and there's like some sort of different genres, I guess. I guess I should approach it, maybe I'll just like go song by song. So, and just I'll do like a reverse. Before I say anything, I'll just sort of ask like any impressions of each song, because I don't really have like history and stuff like Marowak kind of did for his, or even Ryan.
Definitely
So song
blend of ideas here.
So song 1, Radiant Force. Any impressions? I guess I could just go each person. I'll start with Marowak. First song, what was your impression?
All right. As I said before, Martin's was or actually, I didn't say this. Martin was the first playlist that I listened to, and this is where I was like really confused because I listened to this and I saw it was like all different songs from different artists, and I was like, did I do something wrong? Wasn't this what I was supposed to do? And then I realized, oh, okay, Arcade Nova did a similar thing to what I did, so I dropped that. But the fact that this was like a 10-song playlist of your own choice, I thought was like, okay, next time we do this, I'm definitely doing this because I think this would be much more fun, and it definitely like plays into your personality, and if I did it for myself, obviously it would like play into my personality, sort of thing. I mean, I guess I don't know exactly if this is all you, like if this is how you feel 24/7, but this is I have notes for this playlist, and I have ratings. Radiant Force, I gave an 8 out of 10. An 8 I would give a song is a song I would likely play on download on my phone, but I wouldn't listen to it regularly. The one little tidbit of coolness I liked about this was the very beginning. It sounded a lot like Final Fantasy X, which it was a cool hook, and then it just went into like anime music, OP kind of thing, and that was a lot of fun.
Okay, Friggin, what was your take on this song?
I thought it was pretty cool. It sounded like it could have been like the music for like some level of a game or something, like maybe like a Toho or something. Pretty good.
Okay, Ryan, your take on this song?
So I thought this one was cool. If only for not that the song is bad, but I think the video definitely enhances the experience, because it's just like a montage of like various mecha anime, and that drastically increases the hype. So if you are to consume this, I recommend doing that. Maybe I don't know if this is the only way. I don't know but anyway, yeah.
To get into this, there's a reason I'm not saying. I'm asking you just like your impression of just the song, because there's a reason I asked you without saying something first, because like once you know what it's like from, it's kind of changes. Like, oh, it makes a little more sense. That's kind of
Sure, fair enough. I just that's how I like took is, I don't know if that's a word.
No, what you're saying is kind of like it was meant to be consumed, but I think Alex knows, or so I could just say like it's like it's a show where they sing while they're fighting, and it's like this plays like at the opening of a season of the show where it's like the intro sort of thing.
Okay.
And so it's like the entire time they're like there's like a crashing space shuttle, and they're singing this song while like trying to stop it from like crashing into the earth and everyone dying. And like at the end of the song, like the final climax, she like fucking gets in front of the space shuttle and stops it and like throws it over a fucking building, and then it like miraculously starts and lands, and it's like ridiculous. But so like the whole it's and like they're like punching through mountains and like slicing through tree like it's a really ridiculous show where like the girls like they transform into shit, and like it's kind of, you'd have to sort of see it to know what I'm talking about, but it's so like when you're saying like the visuals sort of do it justice, I would say like the AMV doesn't like, just watching the original thing is like does the most justice to the song, because it was kind of made for that opening intro sequence. It's kind of like the hook for the season, you know, like how like a book or whatever, a movie will have like a hook scene at the start of it's kind of like a 5-minute long hook sequence for the whole season of the show, and it's like literally the whole song basically plays like that's, but like while they're doing stuff, and like they sing, and also like the meaning of the lyrics is kind of super relevant to like, oh, they're saving the resounding sound of hope that's echoing through like the miracle's not a lie. It's kind of like cheesy positive vibe, but it's sort of thematically consistent with like what's going on too. That's sort of some context about the song. And Alex, I'll just ask you now because I interrupted your impression, but I think I've talked to you about the show, so yeah.
I did not recognize this song when I was re-listening to it in your playlist, but I had watched that scene because like you sent me that scene with the spaceship. I'm trying to find images to drop in chat of that scene. There's not really any good ones. But as for the music, this is definitely like, and a lot of stuff in your playlist is similar to a lot of music I've listened to in the past, where it's like, only my Railgun is in this playlist. This song has a kind of similar like driving electronic background thing with anime OP / battle music opening in front. Definitely something that I have tended to listen to a lot of. It's hype.
All right, I should get on to the next song, but I posted like part of the scene. It's really low quality, but if you want to like just play that in the background. Okay, next song is probably the song I've listened to literally more than any other song in my entire life, just because of coincidence more than anything. Like it happened to become a song I like at a time where I happened to consume music and I was driving my car a lot. So just by coincidence of like driving my car a lot and that happening to be my favorite song at that point and having discovered it. I mean, I listened to it like 5, 6, maybe 700 times, probably 600, but it's Hand in Hand, not to be confused with the Kingdom Hearts Hand in Hand. But I'll do the same thing and I'll just go around and ask impressions of this one. Marowak, what was your take on this one? Well,
Hey, yo, Marowak.
I'll just ask you then, Ryan, because you talked. Ha ha ha.
Sure. To be honest, no shade or anything. I just didn't like looking back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that my mic was off. I'm sorry. Okay, you go on.
This one wasn't super memorable to me. Like I can't really even tell you what it sounded like. I mean, I can sort of tell just by like looking at the dancing girls in the school outfits. But
yeah, and like no take is a take.
I definitely fucking love this a lot. I love the slice of life Cutie girl animes, so this was like all me. I don't watch the anime at all. I don't. I think it's a little too saccharine for me. And this song
saccharine meaning, I actually don't know what that means.
I don't know how to explain it, but I know I'm using it. I'm pretty sure I'm using it correctly. I think it's just like overly cute or something.
It's a kind of sugar.
There you go.
That's what I'm getting on Googling the spelling, I assume.
That
But
I
yes,
kind of
it is
get that.
It is
Yeah,
that.
I get that. Yeah.
Like this is definitely sugar sweet, like lollipop. Holy crap, this is cute as fuck. It's definitely the kind of music I would definitely download. It was just so fucking cute. The thing I loved about the video actually, I don't watch a lot of like idol anime. The few I have, I did like a lot. Like Zombieland Saga. I did enjoy that a lot. The thing I loved about the animation in this was in these idol shows they tend to use like 3D models for some of the choreography, and this is probably the best I've seen for 3D models, 3D model animation. That was very fluent and very smooth. That's the same thing. Fluent, smooth. It matched the like the lyrics and shit really well. The characters' faces weren't like 3D. Like it was like they do a thing where like the bodies move 3D, but they keep the face as like 2-dimensional as possible so you don't like get thrown too off. So I really liked that it didn't. There was no point in the video where I was like distracted by anything that was like didn't look right. It all looked really good to me. And the song was just so fucking cute. I can't get over it.
Yeah. So an interesting note of that is they actually improved significantly from like the first season to this season, and even further later on in like the next season of the show. There's like a noticeable progression of how it's like the uncanny valley, like how they gradually improved like the 3D mix animation. Like it's definitely like there's a noticeable difference in like say the first Love Live series, the second like Love Live Sunshine, and then even I would say even furthermore in the sequel, like the second series of this Love Live Sunshine, even got better. So there was like a noticeable difference in all of like the 3D sort of animation over time, and it was nice to like see how they improved it. But okay, that's that. Glad to see that at least one person gets the song. And Friggin, what's your feel on this one?
So this one here, I didn't watch any of the videos, but like on video, I just
you don't need the video. Like the song by itself is fine.
But even with that I absolutely like immediately got that vibe of, oh yeah, this is like the OP to some anime about girls in school. Like that immediately came across like without any visuals. I just knew. And knowing now that that's indeed what it was, cool. I guess I guessed right, and they conveyed that tone pretty well. So
necessarily an opening, but it's
yeah, it's one of you can tell.
It's an insert song, meaning it's like a song that played during an episode, like because the way Love Live works is the like normal show. It does have an opening, which is also it's one of their songs, but like. Okay, I'm not going to describe Love Live. It's actually kind of complicated. It's like
please don't.
Okay,
yeah, that'll take. It's like just the how like it's not. It's a thing in and of itself. So I'm gonna go on to Alex. I mean, what was your take?
Yeah. I used to listen to this a fuckload of times too, like 100 of times. Martin and I were in idol hell at roughly the same time. I'm not disappointed that it happened, but I'm glad it's over. This was one of the more addicting songs from that series. So big fan. Has cool jazzy solos and it's upbeat and fun.
Right, on to the next song.
Oh boy.
This is like, and I love this song. But anyway, I'll just go and ask people again before I give my take.
Say the song title.
It's Ole do it. Waka Flocka. This one's. I mean, I guess I'll make my comment. Like this was like a I loved this song. It was like I think I discovered it like football locker room maybe, but like super. It was one of those songs that like after like I graduated high school, I like trying to find it, made it like a YouTube playlist of all my favorite songs at that point, and that was definitely like one I sought out to get on my phone and stuff. Like it's just the energy is just woo. Like I don't know, you're just like like I just feel the energy. You're just like I mean, it's literally in the song. You're just like, yeah, like I don't know, like just it doesn't. If you can't feel the energy, like I don't know, that's why I like it. But I'll go again. Marowak, what was your take on this song?
This is also going off a side of my my opinion of not really into it.
All right.
Cut that. I don't know what the fuck I just said, but point is, don't really care too much about this kind of music. Call me racist. I don't care. I did like it. I did enjoy listening to it. There were parts where I was like, okay, this is cool. No, I really don't have much to say. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
It's funny, what Alex posted. That's actually pretty. Yeah. Definitely a boys' locker room song.
Or did you find that?
If he found it,
No, I'm making these. I'm cranking them out.
Oh, you're cranking them out. Okay. Because if you found that, that'd be like, yeah. Okay, Freakin', what was your take?
Okay, so this song hit me harder than literally any other song in any of the playlists for this entire music cast. The moment I heard this, I was like teleported back in time to 2006, when every single afternoon I'd ride my bike over to my buddy Michael's house, and he just put on like this and all like this kind of music and like Ludacris and Korn and stuff while we played Need for Speed and read Game Informer. Like
I didn't realize the song was that old.
Fuck yeah.
Like this invokes a very specific era of time.
Looks like
because I believe it was played in my locker room maybe 2008, so it must have been old at the time that like I was exposed to it.
I'm seeing that it was recorded August 2008.
Oh, was it?
Okay.
Maybe what like this specific song I don't think I've ever heard before, but like
the era.
It's just that era. Like this just invokes like a very specific nostalgic time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I know from like anybody who's like the same age as me, they're like, "Oh my god, yeah, I remember Need for Speed," and you listen into your like Linkin Park and whatever.
So it was probably 2009 that I heard it. It wouldn't have been 2008. Looking at the dates here, but yeah.
But yeah, this is just a very specific vibe from like a particular little point in time back when I was in like high school that I remember fondly. So this kind of just came out of nowhere, and it was a very pleasant surprise.
All right, Ryan, your take. I definitely felt the energy, so to speak, or whatever. Yeah, not typically my thing, but I can get into it. Like I'm fine with it. I'll roll with it. Pretty cool.
Alex.
As a drug dealer, I definitely keep drug dealer music on deck. So no, this so like real gangster rap with those sorts of lyrics. I can get into it, but I feel like I shouldn't be. And the perfect anecdote I can say for that, the gym I go to, their music is like, it's just a radio there that the patrons can go and change the station on, and you can like fight with the other people that are there about what you want to listen to. And sometimes I'm in there alone and I'm like, okay, I know one of the better local radio stations is the one that only plays rap, but I don't want to put that on and have someone else show up and I'm in there like the whitest person of all time with this blast. It's just not, I don't know.
I know the feel.
Like
this is I confronted this because like I remember I would the way I did it was like I would like sort of fake seeing the lyrics because like obviously I'm just some like I can't understand like the real reality of experiencing what the lyrics are about, but I can still feel the energy. But I remember one time I was like singing the lyrics and like a younger kid was like, yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not trying to be cool. I'm trying to look silly because it's silly for me to do this because it doesn't fit. That was like, because like you can't like.
Yeah, it's basically, it's kind of almost like guilty pleasure music. I might, if someone walked in on me listening to this, I would feel self-conscious almost. But the song is solid. It's
I would
cool
still
energy.
feel self-conscious as it's like I'm trying to be something I'm not or something. But it's not that. The energy of the song is great and I love it. And that's like, it doesn't matter if I can't really relate to what the content is about. I can feel the energy. And that's even other Waka Flocka songs, like just very high energy from my impression. Just like consistent high energy woo kind of songs, and that's I like that.
That's something I should at least mention. Is I did like the feel of it. I did enjoy like listening to it and feeling a certain way, but it's just not a certain way that I typically bother to feel.
All right, so moving on to the next song, it's China.
Oh my god.
I'll let you have something to say, so I'll let you say it.
This was my favorite song out of everything I listened to on everyone's playlist, definitely. I've never watched Ping Pong, but after listening to this, I'm definitely going to. I had this song humming in my head for an entire day. I absolutely love the beat of this song so fucking much. It just did everything right for me. Gave it a 10 out of 10. What?
I was gonna say like that resounding loop at the end where it comes to a closure and it's like dun. I'm off key, but whatever. Dun 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 dun. Like over and over again. Like yeah. Like
it was
the
so
way
fucking good.
And it comes to a perfect closure. Like it's like it builds up into the. Okay, now I'm just like.
Yeah. No.
Getting off to the song. Like
I love the build up because it just starts out like with a single beat and then everything just comes in at once.
But also the closure at the end, like the final loop of that back key, which is just like that note. It's like dun 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 over and over again. And but like like I don't know that this is like my one like I've always usually had like one song that this is like a song I'll play on repeat while doing work. It's like I could just it's the right tempo where it's like I tend to not like chill music that's like not a pacemaker, but this song has enough tempo to where it's like a pacemaker, but can also be listened passively while sort of indirectly pacemaking. You're like do like it's like got enough tempo to it to like make me want to like move forward, but can also sort of be disengaged from like I don't have to be focused on it, but I can also just focus on it and just like it's a very versatile song, I would say. Okay, anyway.
I definitely listen to it to listen to it. I definitely wouldn't just like leave it off in the background because it was just so fucking dense. That I can hum to like all the different parts of the song. Like the beginning is just the one beat, and then the second one comes in, dun dun dun, and I'm like, shit, yes.
Yeah. I know. Definitely. Interestingly, there's a story. Should I go to the ping pong story where like there's like a meme that Alex told me that if you listen to ping pong, if you watch the ping pong anime, you'll like win a tournament. And so I watched ping pong. I listened to this song like 57 times in a row one night, and then the next day got first place at the League of Legends college tournament. Even though I'm not good at League, it's the curse of ping pong. If you watch the anime, you'll win a tournament at a video game or something. And it happened to him too. I think he won like some small Smash tournament when he listened and I thought the curse was broken because I did badly at the Smash tournament, but I entered the league side of it and won that. So the curse is not broken. If you watch ping pong and you listen to the China song 50 times in a row, yeah, you'll win a tournament, I guess.
No doubt.
Okay, Friggin', sorry, that was
I like this song a lot. I don't know if I could really articulate it. Just like it's a really cool beat, and like it was kind of like almost had like a bit of like an 80s synthy feel, but not like too much. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like dated.
It had like it goes into like almost a disco sort of beat in the middle. Like that's
it borrows that style without trying to like emulate it exactly.
Yeah, towards the middle there's like I don't know what you call the instrument, but it like goes into like a sound that I've heard from like disco music.
But yeah, pretty good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
And Ryan, your take?
Well, first of all, can you guys hear this music that's playing right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's disco for you. Well, this is the music cast after all, so just enjoy the disco while it exists. Yeah, I like this one. I would definitely approach it again. Very cool music. I assume like this is some like heated battle shit. I haven't finished Ping Pong, so I don't think I heard this song in it. But
It plays in the first episode. You would have heard it.
oh, okay.
It's the character Kong's, and it's actually not a battle song. It's It's like just to give you an impression of this guy. It's like his song. It's like he walks in and this plays, and it's like it's kind of like his essence is what it is. It's like a character song.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, very. I don't know. I don't have anything like especially.
Yeah.
to say about it, but yeah, it's a cool song.
It is hard to talk about a song like this like unless you're like talking about it like instrumentally, like that's one thing, but
Yeah, I
like,
probably should take more notes or notes at all. But
it's just harder to talk about a song like this in particular because for one there are no lyrics to talk about, so you can't just like talk about what
Well,
the song is about. But
I mean, there are ways to talk.
well,
about
there
music.
definitely are. Yeah, you could like with what I did with all my Kingdom Hearts songs. Like I know what the meanings were behind each song, but if you don't know the meaning, like all of us do, then it's just like we just listen to this really cool song and we can't really elaborate why because we don't have any context.
Have like impressions of it. Like you don't.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily. You can relate to it in a way that is intended meaning, or you might naturally, like Eric said, like how he felt that like even though he didn't know, like he said, even if it was pulled from context, it still felt like adventurous and everything. So I think there's definitely something there. Like that's why we have different perspectives and yada yada.
Yeah, I agree.
And Alex,
Definitely great song for like background music when you're working, focusing, getting shit done. I did not remember or notice this song from when I watched Ping Pong. So I'm glad you brought it to my attention. The Ping Pong meme is real. I binged it in a night, and the next day I won the only Melee tournament I ever won, like $11 at a weekly. So watch Ping Pong, level up, meme.
yeah, that's the ongoing legacy of the show. You got. Yeah, so you at least someone else got the whole the pace. I don't know like the word I say is pacemaker because it's like a background song, but also gives you tempo, and I don't. That's kind of important because I don't like just like background work music that's just like I'm sinking into oblivion in the clouds and being absorbed by the song. This is like you're absorbed by the song, but it's like tick-tocky moving you forward. Okay, I don't know. That's hard to express. Okay, next song, Air Traffic Control, Halo 3 ODST soundtrack.
Unreleased.
I'll just yeah, you have to. This is one of those things where you play the game and then you try to find the song in the soundtrack and it's like impossible to find because it's like a specific version of the song. It's like different than like the core version, but it's the one that you remember from the game because it's like in a very specific moment and it's also just like the most. It's like the most turned up version of the song because there's like less intense variations of it that play in various points within the game. So that's some background on it. So I'll go with the same order, I guess, just Marowak, bottom up.
Never played Halo. Did like this song a lot. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10, or I think it was a 6 out of 10. But I wouldn't download it for myself, mostly because I don't have context. And if it wasn't already like sort of hinted, I really like music that I have context for. I don't normally listen to music that, like, if you expect me to just like the song for itself, then it's going to be harder for me. But I did like the sound of this. Since I don't know anything about Halo, it was kind of cool to like listen to a song that I didn't expect from Halo. So I know the soundtrack for Halo is something that is recognized by fans, so I respect that. But this song by itself was pretty fun to listen to. It was like this really mellow, but it had like a feeling of we're on a mission. We're getting there. We're gonna get there, and shit's gonna get done, and it's gonna be good, and everyone's gonna live, and we're gonna kill the bad guys. It's cool. It's cool.
So I actually, I interestingly, I went for this like when going for, because this is ODST had a different sound than the rest of Halo games, really. So I kind of, one, I like this song specifically, but two, like I thought about it is interesting to show something that's not just like the main Halo song that people might have heard before. Was another reason to pick this, is it's like a one from one of like the side games that also had a really good soundtrack, but they went for a different sound with this game. And they had like a jazz music playing in the night, because the whole point of this game is you're like not playing as Master Chief, you're playing as like a soldier wandering around the nights, and this is like a hardcore like action mission, but most of the game you're just wandering around in the middle of the night trying to like figure out a mystery sort of thing. And so it had an entirely different feel than the rest of the Halo games. So I went with this song because a lot of people might not have heard it if they've heard like the main Halo songs. Anyway, Friggin, what was your take?
I thought it was okay. I don't know if I'd listen to it like on its own, but I can see like it pretty good in the context of the game. Like it does definitely get the feel of like, oh yeah, like soldiers running around and doing stuff. But I feel like it's a little specific. Like, I don't know if I'd put this just like in a random playlist of random stuff to be doing like in the background while I worked on something else. But like, if you're in the game, yeah, that'd make good level music.
Yep. Okay, Ryan.
I feel mostly the same as Eric does. Like, it's good. It's definitely like Halo music. Like, if you've played Halo at all, or like listened to any Halo soundtracks, and you just heard the song, and you'd know it was Halo. But it's not something I would probably like. Yeah, I wouldn't like spin this on the daily or anything, but it's cool.
Alex, is my voice coming through? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So this one did not leave a strong impression on me. I think I was probably like hitting buttons on Melee when I listened to this, and it was good background music for something like that. But it's a little kind of slow. It's like this driving movie soundtrack, dun 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 dun, and I wouldn't like. I didn't feel compelled to come back to it. Other people have already said, I think if you had the connection to Halo, that might help. But for me, it's kind of meh. It's pretty good. It's all right.
All right. Okay, going on to the next song. This is probably like my second most listened to song, because during the same period I was listening to the Hand in Hand song. I was also listening to this song a shit ton. So it's a Cutie Panther. So I'll go with same order again. Marowak, what was your take?
I'm here. Basically the same idea with the Hand in Hand. Also, just another really cute sounding song. Sprinkled with some English in it, not a whole lot, but it's not the point. I like the ferocity of it over the other one. Like the other one wasn't very, they both have different very points to it. This one is sort of like, oh, the girl has more of an attitude and has an opinion, and you gotta deal with it. I didn't really pay attention to the lyrics, just a little bit, but I definitely got that feel just from the sound of it. It's like, oh, it's not being cutesy now. Like, this girl's got like ferocity.
She's like, she's like hunting you down and not gonna let you escape. She's like, I'm gonna get you. Is like the whole premise. Is like Cutie Panther. She's like a panther hunting for you or something. That's like the.
I think we can all get behind.
Wow, Maki
behind
Nishikino is hunting for me.
Oh! I can't actually do that nerd noise that well. That was like pretty.
I gave this song an 8 out of 10, same as the last one. Would listen to it, not in the daily, but I would probably have it on my iPod.
Interesting note, there's like a Korean karaoke place near where I live, and I went to it with some people, and they had this song. So I did it.
Oh, awesome.
Like they had so many anime songs. Like it was interesting. It was like if you could think of it, like they had it. And it was with some Japanese people, so I get to like embarrass myself with like although I didn't, because like I knew the lyrics, so because I heard it fucking 500 times. So it's like that compared to like trying to read the lyrics live. If I didn't know them, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it. But I just happened to know the song enough at that point. I don't know if I could do it. Anyway, Friggin.
The only thing I've written down in my notes was initial D with anime girls ?
Ah,
I like that.
That's actually, it does have like the same tempo, which is it's not a connection I've made, but obviously exists, because when I first heard Initial D music, I was like, what the hell is this? This is good. But I never watched Initial D, but when it became a meme, I was just like, oh, these songs are good. So I've also downloaded a bunch of Initial D music. There's like certain songs that get popular because of memes that I just like the song, not because it's a meme, but because
it just happens to be good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my take on Initial D. Is I just like a lot of the songs, kind of. Oh, there we go. The Eurobeat version. That's the stuff. Anyway, Ryan, your take on Cutie Panther?
I like this one. I dig the whole like just the aesthetic of, I don't know what a Cutie Panther is, but like I can like visualize that, like it has an aesthetic to it, like yeah, very very hype shit, very cool. I like this sort of style of like anime Eurobeat kind of shit, so I dig it.
And Alex?
Pick going up in the chat of what a Cutie Panther is, by the way. I listened to this a lot when we were in Idle Hell. It's, addicting. It is, I guess, kind of, sort of, a little bit similar to Eurobeat. It's upbeat, definitely has some driving electronic stuff in it. So, if you get into it, it can be pretty addicting. Definitely listen to it a lot.
I feel like you're scarred by like a negative overall impression. Like
yes,
you seem to
be.
What about it?
Like live stuff. Okay, so
like you seem to like have a like I don't listen to as much anymore, and I think you were more into the game too, and I was just like, this music's good and I like the show. And
so I don't want to spend too much time on Love Live, but the game and gacha games in general it is engineered to be addicting, and just spend too much time on this shit. That's kind of it.
Because I didn't play the game. I played it like a couple of things, and then I was like, I just like the songs, so I'm just gonna listen to the songs, and I'm gonna read the stories because they're like cute. That was okay. This is not about music though. I'll move on. Okay, literally ridiculously popular, obvious song, like "Till I Collapse." That was my next song. I guess I'll ask Marowak.
I like Eminem is the kind of guy that I know I love, but I don't listen to him enough. And this was definitely a big. This was a really good song for me. I don't even have to listen to what he's saying, because I know that's like a huge draw because his rhymes are so good and everything. But I just love the way Eminem sounds. Call me gay for Eminem, because he just sounds so fucking good, and I love this song. There was like another vocalist on it, like in the background or whatever, like singing parts of it, which was emphasized his lyrics a little bit. It was nice. What's the song called? Till I Collapse. I like the I'm not gonna remember any of the lyrics right now, but I do remember liking the lyrics a lot. Yeah, that's all I can say about.
Yeah, this is one of the rare songs where I have looked at the lyrics before, because I'm normally like a non-lyrics guy, where I'm just like, listen to the song, and I'll, even if I try to hear the lyrics, I won't. I mean, I can't remember them right now, but I remember like having tried to engage with the lyrics, and then also liking the lyrics in this. But just the general energy, the feel, again, this is embodying like what I generally tend to prefer in music a lot. This song is. It's just like intense emotion, intense feel of what it's expressing.
I also really love that the first beat. I'm listening to it right now a little bit, and I love that like haunting da 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 da, and it just goes on for a bit. It's a really good hook.
I just played it. Yeah. I just the wind up, that startup goes into it. Yeah, I definitely feel it. All right, Friggin.
Well, this thing's been on the YouTube recommended homepage for what, like 10 years, and you finally got me to listen to it. It was pretty good.
I noticed I didn't realize it was this popular when I it was a song I listened to and remembered and searched. And when I searched, I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize this was like one of the most popular Eminem songs. Like I knew it was popular, but I didn't realize it was like this popular. When I saw the views, I was like, holy shit.
It's because it was this song was like a tie-in with that movie Real Steel with the robots boxing. And for whatever reason, so it was when the movie came out, YouTube was like promoting it on the front page, and for whatever reason, they just never stopped.
It might have also been used in a Call of Duty commercial at some point. It might have also
maybe.
Yeah,
I could see that.
That was that Hugh Jackman movie, right?
Yeah,
where it's like they're doing a I forget what the anime is, that like robot boxing. Well, actually, no, he was controlling a robot, and then the anime was like he just has like robotic prosthetics or something. Whatever the anime is. Okay, yeah, I remember that movie. I didn't.
But anyway,
see it,
this movie was this song was a tie-in with that movie, and it just got promoted like in excess, and that just kind of snowballed into it being like super popular on YouTube. But
because the thing is, it's like an older. It's not like when I heard it, it was like maybe 2008, 2009 or something, and it was already old. But like then this is an interesting song that like was maybe not super popular when it first came out, maybe, but then later just blew up. Is what's interesting about it from what I've looked at. Like 5 or 10 years later. Okay, Ryan.
So I can definitely see where you're coming from, where you say like I was gonna say this song in particular is definitely that like high energy autism emotion power. So and I that's cool. I dig that. I also listened to this song in like 2009, so kind of hit me in the nostalgia wave. And yeah, I don't know. I used to like Eminem quite a bit, I guess. More so because it just happened to be in my ears. I never like went out of my way to listen to Eminem, but I'm cool with it.
And Alex.
Yeah, famous song. Listen to this for usually as like a workout song a lot. Definitely the lyrics and the general energy created by the lyrics are more of what gets me into it rather than the way it sounds, which is not bad, but it's the lyrics are the sort of the pump up part. Yeah. I've listened to Eminem like a bit, a fair amount of his more popular songs, and that's kind of a theme with that. The stuff he says is cool and gets you going.
A very based lad.
All right, moving on to the next song was Fleetwood Mac, I'm So Afraid, The Dance 1997. This is very important because I remember this is my dad had this specific like DVD for this song, and then that's how I was exposed to it, and he would play it a lot. Like this also might have been around my high school time when he was listening to this because he had this CD. But what's important is like I tried to find the song before, and only this performance is the one I like, and the rest are just like it's okay, but it's just not the same. So this specific version of the song is like the one that matters to me because the other ones aren't as good from what I've heard. So I guess I'll go with Marowak.
I did not like this song very much, and I think it's really just, I guess, a preference in this kind of like aged music, like this. I don't know, what would you call this, country or not even country, just like this 70s or 80s rock band sort of. I don't know. I didn't really care for it too much. The only part I did like, or no, actually no. the part I was just about to mention was actually my least favorite. I think was the that solo, like that guitar solo after like the halfway mark. I just something about like something about the sound of the guitar. I was just like, let this end.
Fair enough.
I just have like a problem with acoustic, and this sort of you know what? I think that's the thing that I don't like is acoustic, and this had a very acoustic sound.
I know nothing about the guitars, so I actually don't know what's the difference.
Acoustic's the wooden one.
You don't know the difference between acoustic and electric?
No, I know but I do think this is electric, but he said it had an acoustic sound, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
what
I'm looking at the
acoustics-
video and it's electric.
There's also
Maybe-
something-
I don't
there's
know. Maybe I'm just
something
making
that's
shit up.
electric acoustic.
But it could just be a general stylistic sound. So I'm just trying to.
I think that's what I mean. Like, maybe I guess when I say acoustic, I don't mean literally like the guitar. I guess it's just when I listen to, like when I hear this, I just think acoustic because it's got like that old man. I just don't know.
Definitely
sound-
a dad.
Okay, you
I mean,
know
it's
what?
literally one of my dad's songs, so it's like definitely an old
That's-
that era of music. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
dad rock.
That's the thing. The dad rock. I really don't care for dad rock, and especially because my dad was like he had his own band, like a Beatle cover band, and I would listen to this kind of music all the time. And just growing up like that, I would just be like, please, just stop playing music for one day. God damn it! I guess it just has like that kind of effect on me where I listen to this kind of music and I just don't want to anymore for the rest of my life.
Interesting, because like I had positive experience with my dad's music, although I didn't like all of it. But there was like select songs where I'd like, oh, I like this song, and that's my main takeaway. Is like there was a couple of songs of the what he would listen to that I liked a lot, and I still like those songs. But it could be a volume of consumption, or maybe it's just different outtakes for the similar experience of having someone else's music played around you.
Maybe. But
All right.
yeah, I didn't care for this. I gave it a
1.
3 out of 10. I mean, I did like some sounds of it, but
Yeah.
it's just the bulk of it I didn't like, so I gave it a 3 out of 10.
Yep. And Friggin?
This is probably not my favorite Fleetwood Mac song, but it is still really good. Like, I'd probably give it 8 out of 10. I just kind of like they have such variety between each of their songs that like if you put on an album, it's not going to sound samey from song to song. Like they're all very distinct.
And my
Which is
take
kinda
is I don't like most of Fleetwood Mac, but I just like this specific song. So that's like
Okay.
No, not even just this song, this performance. I liked the solo where I liked the solo. It felt like the energy put into it was just like reverberating. Like I felt like I'd feel the energy in this, and I guess that's the consistent thing that's kind of what I like in music. Same as the last song, where just the general, you feel the energy, and it's like a lot of it or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan.
Can't say this one is for me. Not really much of a dad rock, boomer rock kind of guy. Yeah, just I don't know. I mean, the only like sort of dad rock that I can get into is like the Pixies, but even that is barely like dad rock. I don't know. Yeah, not for me.
Right. And Alex.
Highly boomercore for sure. It sounded very familiar to me, so I assume my parents played this a lot. It was fine. I probably would not go out of my way to listen to it ever.
Yeah.
All right. Boomers die. Okay, next song. Okay, next song. This is also like an overplayed, popular song, but I still really like it, or at least in the anime community. It's the Attack on Titan soundtrack song that's literally called Attack on Titan.
Specifically, it's like lowercase Attack on
Yeah, weird. All of the songs in this,
on lowercase Titan.
like all of the songs in this soundtrack have like weird spellings like that. But yeah.
When I first listened to this, I didn't actually know. Like, obviously, okay, I knew it was Attack on Titan. And I just thought it was like some background music that I may have listened to when listening to the watching the first season. And then it got to the end, and I'm like, oh shit, this is from Team 4-Star. And then, oh wait, no, this is just a theme from Attack on Titan that I'm just apparently not familiar with.
What's Team 4-Star?
They do
the abridged parodies.
The abridged, and they did a Attack on Titan thing too.
Okay.
And they just featured this song in it, and I listened to it, and I was like, yeah, this is very Attack on Titan-y, and I like it. And I did like this. I gave it well, apparently I didn't. I guess I gave it a 6 out of 10. I remember it liking more than a 6 out of 10.
Score.
I guess I'll upgrade it to like a 7 out of 10 because I wouldn't download it for myself. But I do like the ending because it's definitely the more energy-filled portion, and the first like 2/3 of it are like just kind of slow. And really, like just because it's Attack on Titan, I don't like it that much because I do love the OPs for like the first and second half of season 1. And they sound really good, and I guess some of the music of Attack on Titan is really good, but just the fact that it's Attack on Titan, and I hated the second season, I didn't finish it, just put like a sour taste in my mouth. But that has nothing to do with the song. The song is decent. I have no problems with it.
All right, Frigan.
I don't really have any strong opinions on this song, like as it is. Really, like just it's that one Attack on Titan song, the one everyone knows, but it does kind of like invoke sort of the more nostalgia of back when I was at university. There'd always be like maybe one anime every season that would come out that like everyone would get super hyped for. Like first it was Attack on Titan, and everyone was losing their minds, and we marathoned it like every other day up at the loft. And then the next season, One Punch Man came out, and we marathoned that, and everyone was going nuts over it. And it's like kind of
online.
Fortunately, not that one.
One Punch Man was like 2 years later, so there's like a big gap there. There's like a full year, but yeah.
Yeah, it was, and I'm sure there's a couple of. I think Kill la Kill was in there too.
Yeah, no,
like,
Kill la Kill is the progression I remember was Attack on Titan, then Kill la Kill, and then I think I missed this. Tokyo Ghoul is the next year, but I never watched that. But I think that was like the big show in 2014. There was some others.
Oh well, Tokyo Ghoul sucks. So
I never watched it, but I don't. But like, I just remember that as far as like if you look at popular anime and like release dates, like what was popular in each year, I think that was what was like popular in the next year. I mean, so it was like. But anyway, and then obviously 2015 was One Punch Man. Although One Punch Man, that was late 2015, not early 2015. But
yeah, but
anyway,
we just kind of had like sort of there was like one anime, everyone would be, oh my god, did you see the latest episode? Blah blah blah. Every week, and like everyone got really into it. And season 1 of Attack on Titan was one of those. So every time I heard that song, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when we were watching this back when I was in school, and everyone was talking about how good it was, and it was.
That was my slippery slope. I mean, I really liked the show. I mean, it's still like one of my top like 5. But yeah, that was my slippery slope where I went from just like watching one show to like, okay, now I'm just like trying to watch everything. Kind of, that was like what got me into anime really. But that's not why I liked it. Like I like the song because of I mean, I'm sure there's nostalgia and stuff, but the intensity of it and like the build up and like the big payoff in the end is sort of like that overwhelming cacophony of emotion sort of at the end of the song. It's just like,
yeah, like it fits the tone of the show, and I think even the specific scene it was in really well. It's just that it's so tied in with the show that I can't really separate them in my mind.
For some reason, like I mean, I can't say that. I mean, actually, I probably could be able to separate. I mean, I definitely do separate the song as like, because I would like run to it, and I would just listen to it in other environments, and just the overwhelming theme of like music I like. There tends to be like some something overwhelming about what it's doing, and that's kind of like this is a song where it like builds up to like big overwhelming emotion, and yeah. Okay, Ryan.
To me, it kind of like it sounded at the beginning. It sounded kind of just like generic, like dubby step kind of stuff, and then like I was like, how does this relate to Attack on Titan? And then it got to like the end climax thing where there's like the woman, right? Vocal. There's like the vocals of like with like the woman like and
Yep.
that
I'm pretty sure it's just like bad German from what I've heard, but
yeah. Okay, so then I was like, okay, now Attack on Titan. So yeah, I don't really have like much attachment to this song. It's fine for what it is, though.
And Alex.
This one also didn't leave a huge impression on me, didn't get super into it. I never watched Attack on Titan, so I have no connection to it. It's kind of, I did like how it changed over the course of the song, the sort of electronic stuff in the beginning, and then it builds up. Kind of just a sort of epic movie soundtrack sort of feel, and it's good to know that's out there if I ever want to go to this kind of music. That's basically my thoughts.
So Hiroyuki Sawano is like, if you just Google him, I actually like learning about him. Is he like he got famous for like this soundtrack and and made a lot of other popular soundtracks. He also did Kill la Kill soundtrack, and he's like, if I read what he said, is he was going for like the big movie sound, like trying to emulate that. But like what I like about his style is he like incorporates like the electronic stuff and all of the songs, and there's like he always mixes like classical big orchestrator stuff, but also with like the weird electronic-y sounds that he mixes in, and then vocals. So it's like a pretty it's pretty easy to tell, like, oh, is this guy? Is this Hiroyuki Sawano? If you're watching an anime and like you don't know who did the music, like you can often tell, like guess or like think, oh, is it him? And then you check and it is him. That's something I've noticed with like the style. Anyway, and last song, Only My Railgun, super popular anime song where if I look at the comments, people are like, the song where you haven't seen the anime, but everybody knows. Like even the Japanese comments are saying that. Like that's it's just like a song that was more popular than like what it was used for, kind of.
Save me for last.
Okay. Alex?
Yeah, so I watched this show. I liked it. This song is in a bunch of rhythm games, and it's like one of the more relevant things Konami had managed to get a license for while it was actually popular. So it's kind of a meme. If someone's playing one of those games that doesn't actually play it, they will inevitably be playing this song.
Hey guys, I gotta go.
All right, later, dude.
Peace.
So I kind of like it. I kind of like the style of music. It's a little slow for me, but it's mostly because I know, I know the song in the show. It's I have a connection to it. It's good.
And for you?
I didn't really have any strong opinions on this one. I think the only note I put is anime music.
Yep. It's a poster boy anime music song. It really is.
Yeah, it kind of feels like just every anime song ever. Like just if you were to take like the sum of all of them, like it's good. It's
I actually think as like a poster boy sum of all anime music, it's not a bad representative from my take, and especially how popular it is. It's one of those songs that like a lot of people haven't seen the show, but they know the song is why it's like.
Well, I haven't seen the show and I don't know what it's from, but
I mean, I watched the show because I knew the song. I liked the song. I heard the song, and then I was like, oh, I watched like top 300 anime song playlist, and then I'll just like that sounds cool. And then I might watch the show. I mean, a lot of times I don't watch the show and just get the song. Like that's another thing that I've like. A lot of people have big nostalgia with songs, but I've just discovered a lot of anime songs, had no connection to the show, and then just like love the song and only listen to the song. So I can definitely separate like nostalgia in some ways, but it does seem like the instrumental stuff you might need the context. What I'm getting from this conversation is it seems like the stuff that really was meant to be in a show, it seems like people randomly hearing it are not as able to connect with it, or less likely to connect with like an instrumental track that has a context with it. Whereas like random, J-pop or songs that might also have better feelings if you have context seem like more likely to independently stand up, or like people just hear it once and like it. Although to be fair, there's a lot of instrumental stuff where I haven't seen the show stuff that I just listened to random instrumental tracks and ended up liking too. I don't know, just observation about like whether it's like the difference between nostalgia bias and like just liking something. But sorry, Marowak, about the Only My Railgun.
I was kind of just wanted to listen to it real quick to see if I could get some feelings out of it, but I really couldn't. I think Friggin put it the best. Very generic anime OP sounding song, so I was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. I
really like the title though. It's really cool. Only My Railgun.
Yeah, this one just, even though it's like a really obviously popular one, somehow stood out to me. Like the beat, the sound, song, like I don't know, just like the general feel of it, like stands out, uniquely. Even though it does carry like flagship as a just generic anime J-pop song. I definitely like it uniquely for what it is. Because I mean, it led me to seek it out, and again, in the same time period where I listened to like the Love Live music a bunch, I listened to this song a bunch too. Okay, that's mine. And who's?
Martin. I really liked your playlist. I'm definitely gonna do something similar next time because just choosing separate songs from different genres and backgrounds was a pleasure to listen to.
Yeah, it's interesting. Lots of variety.
All right.
All right, cool. So that leaves me. And my playlist I put together was of Japanese pop music. So none of these were created for an anime. I don't think any of them have been used in one either. None of them are particularly new. They're all at least a few years old, and they all have tens, if not hundreds of millions of views. So these are like very popular pop songs in Japan. And I came across most of these when I paid for a YouTube music subscription for a while, and it tends to like want to throw music at you that's, like actually licensed and whatnot. And so, I'd probably listen to one or two anime tracks, and this kind of stuff came up. So the artists in here are Yorushika, Kenshi Yonezu, Reol, and Mafumafu. I'm gonna go bottom up. So Mafumafu, this person is interesting to me because of their vocal range. That's really the draw to this person's songs. A lot of people listen to some Mafumafu songs and they think he's a woman because he can sound like a woman. He can also do some sort of intense kind of screaming type stuff, which there's a little bit of that in this song. So that's what the appeal of Mafumafu is to me. The song from him that I put in this playlist called Reincarnation is an original. He's done a lot of covers and stuff as well of other famous the what's it called, Hated by Life Itself, Inochi ni Kirawarateru, that sort of stuff. So that's what I like about Mafumafu. Reol, I've liked pretty much every Rail song I've listened to, but the one in here by far stands out the most and is my favorite. It's just called No Title. And it has that kind of, what's it called? Like, it's not Calypso, but it's like the Ed Sheeran song, the dun, 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 da, da. There's a Digibro rant where he talked about this, where he talked about not liking it, but I think it's really catchy and I love the vocals in this as well. Kenshi Yonezu, I included a song from him called Loser. which I think his voice is really unique. I really like the guitars in this song, or the general rhythm of it. This dun, 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 dun. And then he comes in. To the extent that I try to comprehend the Japanese, I think some of the wordplay / rhyming in there is interesting. The first line is like a series of rhyming words, just like one after another. Itsumodori no tori hitori. So it all ends in ori. And in Japanese music, as I understand it, they don't do rhyme structure the same way we do. So I've been told, and as far as I can tell, because they have so many homophones and words that rhyme anyway, that like an ABAB rhyme structure or something like that isn't common. And it's more like they'll occasionally, for one verse or one line, they'll throw something in that plays around with rhyming. And there's a little bit of that in this song that I like. And then the top 2 songs in the playlist are by Yorushika, which I think is a duet. But all of their songs are I really, really like. They're very like musical, like they have piano, they have guitar, and you can tell it's like that these people sort of love music and they love the instruments they play. And I love the quality of it. I know people talk about sound design in shows. I don't know if the term sound design really applies to music as much, but some of just the way it sounds and some of the non-instrument sounds they choose to incorporate, especially in like the first 2 seconds of Say It, which is the second song I have in here. The songs are That's Why I Gave Up on Music and Say It. I don't know how to describe it. You'd have to go listen to it, but it's the sounds they use and the quality of them right in those first few seconds of that song are a good example. Really, really stand out to me. Really like it a lot. The other one, That's Why I Gave Up on Music, has this like beautiful kind of piano melody that's very satisfying to listen to. The vocals are also very, very satisfying to listen to. She's a good singer. But the thing about both of these songs, and this is especially if you watch the music video that this can sink in, is they're both, like I said, like hugely popular pop songs, and they both sort of indirectly deal with suicide or depressing themes, which you might not get that if you just listened to it and didn't like kind of look into what it was about or didn't watch the video. But it's really interesting to me to have music that musically doesn't sound depressing, not really, and also is hugely popular, is like 100 million views pop song that like deals with serious subject matter like that, and kind of bridging the gap between having something that's lowest common denominator popular so it can be a pop song, but also deals with a heavy subject matter like that. So in That's Why I Gave Up on Music, the music video shows 2 people walking, and there's a man in front and a woman is kind of following him, and they sort of walk through these landscapes and get progressively farther and farther apart. And it looks cool. The art is really good. And the lyrics are about things like this person's sort of internal struggle, cognitive dissonance with how they want to do music for a living, but that's difficult to do. It's not practical. They're struggling to succeed with it. And there's a lot of people that are like pushing them away from it, and they're considering giving up. And the only person that is supporting them is their significant other. So it's like the guy in the video is being supported by the woman, his significant other, who's following him. And the kind of takeaway from it is that the person from whom the song's perspective is written got fed up with it, was over it, reached a point where they wanted to give up on music. And but they felt that was difficult to do because of their significant other encouraging them. So they sort of emotionally distance themselves and push them away, which is why they get farther and farther apart as they're walking. And the last thing you see in the video is the man walks out onto a pier. He looks behind him, sees that she's no longer there anymore. So like the metaphor is he's done it. He's pushed her away. She's left. And then there's the last second of the video is there's like this inscrutable flash of imagery, and then he's no longer on the pier. And the implication is that he jumped off. So it's like this guy had something he cared about, music, wanted to do it for a living, had that struggle with it and decided he wanted to give up and kill himself. But first he has to push away the one person who loves him and is encouraging him. And it's like really, it struck me as very deep. It really resonated with me, and I like to, stew over it and mull over it and think about that. It's kind of, if you get into it, it's a bit intense and depressing, but it's powerful subject matter. The song sounds great, so you can kind of forget about that and listen to the song and just sort of jam. But it has that in it as well, which I think is really cool and really powerful. And the other song is very similar, Say It by Yorushika, where it deals with serious themes. The words are about, like the title is Say It. It's saying like, communicate, say things to people while they're here now, because one day they're not going to be. And sort of the implication is that it's sung from the perspective of someone who lost a friend, and they're now regretting and lamenting the things that they did not communicate to that friend while they were alive. And some of the lyrics are things like, if I could see you on the last day of my life, things about regretting living blindly and living impulsively. And in the music video, there's some imagery of this person like climbing stairs. And I think some people's interpretations or takeaway was that their friend who passed away killed themselves, presumably by climbing up these stairs and jumping off the top. And the person telling the story is like considering doing the same thing, climbing up those same stairs and jumping off the top. That's kind of people reading into the video and the words and guessing about what the meaning might be. But again, so it's kind of heavy subject matter. The only thing that this song specifically says is that message of, say it now, communicate, don't live with regrets kind of thing. And the heavier stuff comes from reading into what's in the video and a little bit what's in the lyrics. But it's that same deal of, it's interesting to me that they have a hugely popular pop song that has those underlying themes. And even if you leave out the themes, both of these songs are really cool and a lot of fun to listen to. So that was kind of my thoughts on that. Every other Yorushika song I've heard, also fantastic. The sound design, if that's an applicable term, the types of instruments, the vocals, it's all a lot of fun to listen to. So I would recommend checking them out. And I guess I'll go one by one and see if you guys have any thoughts. Friggin?
Yeah, I kind of, out of your list of 5, those first 2 by what was that band?
Yorushika.
Yeah, I like those probably quite a bit the best. And now I'm finding out they're about depression and suicide. So that's
let me ask you this
about me, but and I had no idea.
Did you watch the videos or did you just listen to them?
All of this I only listened to the audio because I wanted to see what I could take away from it.
Fine. So what was when you were listening to the audio, if you had to guess what they were about, what would you have guessed?
Probably the exact opposite. Like, yeah, things are pretty good and like good times and that sort of thing. I wasn't really paying attention much to the lyrics, just sort of like the vibe of the song.
Right. It's kind of, once you know that, it's like the songs are upbeat and sort of energetic and almost happy sounding, but they're also like, there's a bit somber. Like once you know that that's in there, it's like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense.
And now like this is all super fascinating about like, because I didn't watch the video and now I'm on the fence. Do I want to go and watch the video and get that extra?
They're really good.
And because I kind of want to, but I'm like, am I going to get the same experience listening to the song again of just being able to be like, oh yeah, this is a nice, cool, fun, upbeat song.
I mean,
like,
the videos themselves,
but it'll be tied in with the. Which I mean, to be fair, that's kind of the intent in the song, so I'd be doing a disservice not to go and check it out.
Yeah, the videos were very purposely designed for the song. Like it's pretty obvious when you're watching it. Like it's timed with the lyrics and
yeah, of course,
sounds and stuff. And they really are just like short little animes, but like music videos. Did you want to continue, friggin', or?
I was just gonna say, I think you've got me convinced now to go and watch those and probably check out more of their stuff because I really enjoyed those. The other ones were
pretty
good.
You did. Hope you check them out. Did any of the others stand out to you at all, or kind of just mostly those first two?
They were all okay. It was mainly those first two. That third song, those are those guys that did that one Full Metal OP, right?
I don't know. Reol?
Who? What? Let me pull up the list.
The third one, no title. Oh no, the third one was Loser. That's Kenshi.
Loser,
Yonezu.
yeah.
He probably, because this guy's hugely popular. They used one of his songs was the outro to Sangatsu no Lion. Orion was the song which I watched recently. So some of his stuff is getting used in anime. So that might be the case.
Okay, yeah. It seems like, yeah, he is kind of popular. But this particular song hasn't been in anything, has it?
Not that I know of. I don't think so. It's by far my favorite song of his. I think it's not most people's like favorite song of his. So yeah. I don't think it's been used in any anime.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like hey, I recognize that guy.
Son of Marowak, what'd you think?
I definitely liked the first two the most. The second one, what was it called again?
Say It, or Ite in Japanese. Say It.
Say It was my favorite by a lot. I really loved the beginning beat of it. That really liked it. It sounded like I had an idea going in my head like a couple minutes ago. Like it was very traditional sounding. Like if you told me, like if you just told me, like if you didn't tell me, if I didn't hear the lyrics and you asked me like where was this made, and I just wouldn't be able to tell you. I wouldn't have thought Japanese. It sounded like something that anyone could write lyrics over. I don't know if that's something you can say about any song, but
these are definitely pop songs, so
Yeah.
that's right on the nose. Yeah, it's a jam. It's kind of musically, it does sound like it could be any sort of pop song with sans lyrics.
I also really loved both music. Like I liked the first music video more, but the second one was also just really cute, and like the little sketch character dancing to the song was like really adorable. It had and it just seemed to have very fitting choreography set to the song. Like whenever it would be like waving its hands up and down. It was like it gave me that feel, like it gave me like a sense of flow, and that's when the song was just starting, and it had that really good beat. So I really enjoyed the the video aspect of it. I definitely love both music videos, especially the first one. I did get the sense that it was supposed to be depressing, and I guess I can get away with saying that because I watched the video, and the video is pretty obviously like sort of a depressing thing, especially since you can't see the guy's face. And I thought that was a really interesting. Like it's not like you can't see the girl's face either, but hers is just not drawn, while the other guy's is like blanked out with like a smudge effect.
Yeah, it's obscured by like this sort of bubble looking thing. They use that character with that exact facial obscurement in I think some of their album art and stuff. I think it's meant to represent one of the people in the group. I think so. But yeah, from watching the video you could definitely get that sense that it has some sort of not so happy aspect to it, some sort of emotionally distant kind of thing going on. And that imagery with his face being obscured, I think is pretty cool. It made me think of like identity issues with the song being called "That's Why I Gave Up on Music" and what it's about.
The a really ironic thing I have to say about that, having heard it and thinking it was very depressing. Initially, when I first heard it, I thought it was very reminiscent of a song that Makoto Shinkai would use in one of his movies. In case you don't know, like Makoto Shinkai is like the people like to call him the new Miyazaki, and everyone, including like a lot of people who are smart and not too quick to the gun, don't like to refer to him like that, even especially himself. But his movies like Your Name and Weathering with You, which are like the two of his newest movies that had been released, he uses pop songs in his music in his movies for montages, and this was a song that I thought sounded a lot like a montage-ish kind of Mikoto Shinkai song, and I really liked it because they're used really well in the movies, and I just imagined like this is like I can imagine I was watching the video thinking, oh, this could be like something seen in a Makoto Shinkai movie. And I have a similar thing to say about the third song. Was that one Loser?
Yeah, Kenshi Yonezu Loser. Yeah.
I thought that one sounded a lot like something from My Hero Academia.
I also thought it sounded like that opening. Yeah, I don't think it's the same person, but it's this voice. The singer sounds the same as the peace sign opening. I was going to mention that. So. It sounds so similar.
I think that was a running theme with and like you said so yourself. These songs were like pop songs, and I definitely get that. I could imagine all of these songs from like being in an anime due to them being popular in Japan and just being like, we're gonna buy your song for a bit and use it in our anime. I completely forgot about the fifth song. Like I was listening to it before the podcast, and when it started playing, I was like, what the fuck is this? And and saying that, I really don't have much else to say about it. I liked the video. It was really like trippy and dark looking, and it's cool, but aside from that, the song was just kind of off for me. But I also really liked the fourth song. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at a list of. I would be naming the songs by name.
So Reincarnation by Mafumafu. Yeah, it's the guy whose vocals I like.
I'm just not doing that because my battery's almost dead, and I'm trying to save battery life by having my screen blank or darkened. So, but that song, I really liked the music video. I really liked the implementation of the subtitle generation. And I would definitely listen to that song again. That was probably my second favorite.
All right, sweet. Martin, what you think?
I liked a lot of parts of a lot of the songs. There was no song that had like everything that's like, oh, this is like the song I have to download, meaning it had like all of the elements to make it be like like a super hit song that's like, now I gotta put it on my songs, but there was like a lot of songs that almost had or had certain elements I really liked, but then I didn't like hit it out of the ballpark with, like, for example, Reincarnation. I love like the opening opening beat to it, like the whatever that is, piano or whatever, like. But then, like, the actual not the lyrics, but the song part, the lyrical part, I'm like not as into. But just like that opening is like super good. And then I liked the no title song mostly, just most of the song. But it's like something about when it's like just pop, and it's like. There's something about like the style that's like anime style that's different, and for some reason I attach to that. And so then when I just hear like a song that's Japanese, that's just like an American pop song kind of, and it's not distinguishable somehow, that it shouldn't like deter me from liking it, but because it didn't. But it's just I'm not like motivated to, in the same way that I don't like listen to the top 40 or whatever and like download those songs. It's not like, it wasn't like an overwhelming, oh, this song's so good I have to download it for the no title song, although I did like it a lot.
Yeah, I see what you mean. A lot of pop music I do, at least kind of like. It's pop. It's meant to be catchy.
I definitely like pop music. Don't get me wrong.
But here's the thing. Well, so I wish I knew the word. I want to say calypso. I don't think that's right. But I mentioned Ed Sheeran earlier. Like in Shape of You, it has that very similar to this song. The dun dun da da dun dun. Kind of. Well, but Ed Sheeran's lyrics are creepy as fuck, and I don't want to listen to him. And so this has that same sound with like Japanese female vocals, where she does more with the vocals. She goes low, she goes high, she does some kind of almost rap like stuff. And for me, it's like it takes the stuff I like about pop, about American pop, some American pop, and like fixes the stuff I don't. That's kind of part of why I like that song in particular.
I don't know if I've encountered the lyrics thing in American pop. I mean, I probably didn't. I didn't listen to the lyrics, but I actually haven't listened to modern radio in the past 5 years much. So maybe I would actually like modern music. I just don't happen to go out and seek it out. It might be possible I would just like it. I just got into the phase of listening to what was around me, and I did definitely like the sort of electro style that's literally Only My Railgun. That song sums up a kind of style that sort of has some things that wasn't in the pop I listened to in other genres. And it doesn't have to be exactly like that song, but I guess that's an example of oh, this is somewhat different for some reason. And
that is definitely a thing that's missing from American pop, as far as I can tell. That what the electronic stuff in Only My Railgun, or the kind of general way it goes. I see what you're saying.
I don't know what to call that. Electro synthesizer, whatever. But it's that's cool. And I actually make fun of me, but I listen to a couple of BTS songs and download them generic popular pop. But and I remember showing my sister, I happened to be listening to it and she was in the car and she's like, oh, this is just what's the point of listening to this? It's just American pop. And that's true. But and so I'm and sort of for some reason I liked their songs anyway. But in this case, it's yeah, this is just American pop and it's Japanese and it's it's just the same. But there was nothing for me to latch on to. With the reincarnation saying,
what you mean there.
Reincarnation saying actually has the reincarnation song has that whatever I want to call that I associate with J-pop anime style, that electro synthesizer, whatever. Reincarnation has that. But it just I don't like the lyrical part of it that much. But that opening is super banger. Just that first 20 seconds of reincarnation. Love the song. Within it went into something that I wasn't as hype about. And the first song's just fucking depressing, so I don't. That's the reason. It's kind of sad.
So, just a note on reincarnation: it has that stuff that you want, and then it also mixes it with this sort of not heavy metal, but sort of a hard rock kind of heavy metal-esque kind of thing. But then with that underlying electro synth a little bit. So I think that's a cool combo there. So onto Yorushika, you have pretty good Japanese comprehension. So did you watch the videos for these? Did you know what they were about? You said you knew they were depressing. Or the first one, anyway.
You're talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Martin.
I was just listening to it a second. I probably got a general feel of what was going on. I probably exact specifics. Probably.
Did you watch the video though?
I don't think I did, but I think I understood enough to oh, this is making me sad.
Yeah.
So through what lyrics I understood. And it was kind of, I'm not a down again, I'm not melancholy downbeat. If I'm listening to something sad, it's more direct crying sad, not I'm just down and everything hurts, or and I'm just not. That's not that. It's not that. It's more I'm sort of down.
It's an exploration of emotions. It's a slightly detached, but
detached
sort of
reflection.
Sad feeling. Yeah,
it's reflection with sort of, oh, I missed out.
Yeah, it's lamenting, regret.
Lamenting,
sort of.
Yes, reflecting backwards, but in a regretful kind of way. And it's just, that is horrible. That emotional state, reflecting with a regretful connotation is ooh, that's one of the most painful emotional states, is reflection with regret. And even though it's not really exactly that, it's got that tone. And although it kind of is kind of like that, I guess it's just oh man, I couldn't. Yeah, it's really. That's why I could I like the feel in the song, but it's just too sad. And then the Say It song, or Ite, is it's too. It's not. It's I want to say too generic, but that's not descriptive. It's just tone, upbeat.
It's a little generic. It's a little generic. Yeah, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but
Musically,
I wish I could use better, like actually explain, because there are lots of types of generic, right? And I want
Oh
to
man,
be
like getting ready for this, I realized how I have like no vocabulary for describing music.
like
Maybe if we do this more,
I
we'll
want to
get
say
better.
I knew that
how
going
it's
in.
generic in a more constructive way, so it can be like what I mean by that. But upbeat, do. But there are some do songs I like. Why do I not like this one? I mean,
So yeah, it was kind of generic. My question to you on these, since you are a big fan of the electro synth pop thing that we have tried to describe, one thing that I like about Yorushika, about these two songs and all their other songs, is it's like really not literally classical, but it's like pianos and you know, sometimes like brass instruments and you know, that guitars, like that kind of music, like the music I think of when I think of contemporary people who love to play music. And I haven't before listened to a lot of music where I'm like, oh, I love this song because I can tell the person playing it loves playing the piano. So did you have any thoughts on it being like that style of very like, you know, typically instrument driven music compared to anything else? I assume that'd be something you wouldn't like as much.
I don't like it any less. I'm like an anti what do you say, like instrumentalist, meaning like I don't care. It just needs to sound good, and so it can sound just as good with someone playing it by themselves or with it like completely generated. So I don't care. There's different, like I might like certain natural like instruments more than electronic sounds in some cases, and I might like certain electronic-y sounds a lot in some cases. It just depends. So I could definitely like a natural sounding song more than an electronically sounding song because the instrument sounds better. But I definitely don't like think, oh, it has real instruments, so it sounds better or something like that. Like, and I don't like, as far as like feeling like someone put their energy into it. For that, I just have to see them playing, right? Like see them like live. But if it's just a song, I'm just gonna listen to the noise and like whatever it makes me feel. So I don't like feel like a piano is somehow less. I mean, ultimately, a mechanical piano is mechanical, so I don't feel it's like
Gotcha. Yeah.
somehow
It's something
different.
I'd never really gotten with music before these songs, of like having that come through and me listening to it. So I'm not surprised that wasn't what you thought. But
Although when I see live performances, I can see someone put their energy into it, right? But outside of like actually seeing a person, uh, it's like, you know, it's just noise, and like whatever noise makes me feel the best is like what I like.
gotcha.
Not that I don't know if this is like completely relevant. It is a little bit, but I know you guys had a different purpose. But in terms of talking about listening to music and watching people play to get a feel for the music just by watching someone play, I definitely get that a lot whenever I'm at an orchestra concert. It just, when you see, like, I mean, this is unanimous for like anyone. Like, you can go to a rock concert or whatever concert. For me, I don't get much out of that, but going to an orchestra concert and seeing all the different instruments being played, it makes me feel that certain way where these people are like, I can just, I get that feeling like, oh my god, like I love this music so much. Can you imagine being up there actually fucking playing it? Like, what? Like, this music that I listen to in a video game, like people actually made this? Like, what?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can see that. Anyone have any other thoughts on these as we get ready to wrap up? I think that's all I had.
They were pretty cool.
All right. Well, I think we don't have any new comments. We haven't uploaded a lot since the last time we recorded. We've got a lot queued up as we're recording this. So, no comments to read. But leave us comments. We will read them until we get so huge that we can't. Get in now while you can, plebs.
This is your chance to become famous.
Flame our music choices, I guess.
Yes, our taste in music is incredible, and you should do everything we recommend.
All right. Well, I guess that wraps it up for today. This has been the Crash Content Podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.